Damn, Danny.
Downtown, I got that heat, let's go.
Yeah. Hold up. I always do this, man. I leave the music way too up. It drowns me out, and then you guys can't hear me what I'm saying. Oh, man. Good stuff. Man, we got a good show for you guys today. We're going to discuss a couple of the things that are happening in the sports world. As Coach says, things are crazy in the sports world. I absolutely agree with that, 100%. I mean, some of it's not even really sports. It's just the people that are in the sports that are going through things or doing things, and then it becomes sports topics. It's not even really sports. You know what I mean? In some instances, it's off the field or it's out of season, but there's still things, you know? So anyways, I welcome everybody to this live edition. And for those of you watching this on the replay, shout out to the replay crew. And hashtag 2Live crew. Let that be right. Bro, listen, Micah, I will send you that file if you want it, bro. I got you. I do not mind, bro. And I know I think we talked back in the day. You were mentioning that you wanted to make content, maybe. If there's anything I could do to help you with that, facilitate that, I would gladly extend a helping hand. I do not mind at all. If there's anything I could do to help you with your content, it would be a pleasure and an honor to help. You've been pretty much ride or die as I've created content on this channel, so I feel indebted to you, as being one of my moderators, being so gracious when you come to the live streams and hang out with us, grace your presence and all those wonderful things. And shout out to everybody who consumes our content. You guys have been awesome as I've created videos. I also want to kind of say welcome to all the new viewers and subscribers. We've got a ton of new subscribers that have been watching the videos. I think in the last 3 days. Yeah, I made you a moderator. In the last 3 days, I think the channel has had 20,000 unique views or 30,000 unique views, something like that. And a lot of it was on a couple of videos that I did. And I want to talk about that. So check this out, guys. I want to show you something. I'm gonna just remove this. I want to give you guys a channel update because I want you to understand what's going on YouTube. What kind of videos get views on my channel? I want you guys to understand something because this is going to connect to the end of the live stream. I did, and actually let's just click here. My most recent video doesn't have a lot of views. It was just dropped today. I'm not too worried about videos that are newly released or published. But if you guys look at the videos that I create, you have technical breakdown videos where we do film study. We have videos where we just do news stuff. There's live streams that we do, obviously. This video right here, All NBA Defender explains why LeBron needed more help than Kobe. The title of the video describes exactly what Tayshaun Prince says is different about LeBron and Kobe and how they play offense. He very explicitly discusses it. People took to the comments section and just went all the way in. I will tell you guys, for those of you that watch my content, big salute to you. You hate me, you like me, whatever. If you've watched my videos, I have appreciation to that because that means you took your time to watch my video. If you took the time to comment on my videos, I salute you twice for engaging with my content because I think as a creator, that's the part of you, that's where you want to see your channel go. I'm not saying you have to have a community and everybody has to feel connected and it's kumbaya and everybody hugs. I'm just saying the interaction is appreciated because that's really why people make content. Well, I'll speak to myself. I make content that I like, that I think fills a niche. For example, that clip, that audio clip of what Tayshaun Prince says. You have people that ran with it and said LeBron's a bum. That's not what that clip was about. Also in the clip, it talks about the difficulty it takes to guard LeBron and the difficulty, that is presented when you guard Kobe. And he talks about the differences. And in the video, in the clip, it clearly says and describes how LeBron was utilizing 1,000 screens. The video or the clip is about what the title says it is. It's not clickbait. My titles aren't really designed to be clickbait. They're designed to intrigue someone to click on them. That's not clickbait. When I make the titles, I'm trying to get people to consume the content, right? So I have to get someone it has to catch their eye, So, and I'm going to get back to this in a little bit, but I wanted to kind of share with you guys what videos have been doing well on the channel. So there's that one. There's the LeBron carried bums to the finals series. That seems to be pretty popular. Here's another one about Big Z. That one's doing pretty well. It's got over 700 views. I would expect it to get to 1,000 very soon. Now, when it comes to that playlist or when it comes to that series, why I make those videos, The reason why I make videos like this is because I'm trying to debunk common misconceptions that I think are false. I may or may not get through to people. I may or may not, get people to see things my way or be able to convince them of what they're seeing. My goal is to take things that I believe are easily or directly falsifiable and show you how what you're thinking could be wrong. Teams go to the finals. Teams win championships. Teams lose championships. Players play well, players play poorly. No player is infallible, and no player is without critique. And some players can be overrated in some aspects, and sometimes they're underrated or underappreciated. I have carved out my niche. I have made a decision on what kind of content I'm going to make. I want to make videos that attempt to disprove false claims or things that are overstated. For example, LeBron carried bumps to the finals. That's not true. Now, every team that goes to the finals, not every player on the team is an all-star player. But you don't have to be an all-star player to not be a bum. What I'm trying to do is destroy the tendency of people to discredit players that played hard and played well, but didn't reach the peak form of the best NBA players. Think about it. There are thousands of players in the league at any given time. Think about it, right? Like you've got 30 plus NBA teams. You got 12 people on an everyday roster. You've got the G League. You've got rookies that are drafted. You got players on 10-day contracts, players in and out of the league every year. Not everybody is going to be Hall of Fame, but it doesn't make them a bum if they don't make all-star teams or if they only average 13 points a game. Well, what if they only take 9 shots a game? You see what I'm saying? I'm trying to change people's programming to stop with the narratives about players if they're not true. If the narrative falls into play and it's true, like you could prove it, then that's one thing. But come on, man, all the guys that played with LeBron are not bums. And just because they didn't win a championship doesn't make them bums. And every guy that played with Michael Jordan is not a Hall of Famer, nor are they bums either. I'm my intention, I want it to be so obvious. I want to take the things that I think are myths, but are just repeated so often, they become staples of the pop culture within these basketball discussions, within these football discussions. I just want to objectively evaluate the film, the play, the games, objectively as possible. Nobody is perfect. Nobody is infallible. There are so many times where you guys call in and tell me things that I didn't know. And then from your perspective, offers me a unique view into what you see. Sometimes I don't agree with people, but at least I can understand their position. I'll take something from it. That's what I want to foster within the comments of my videos. But oftentimes what I get is toxicity. We're going to talk about that at the end of the stream. Anyways, let me go ahead and jump into this first topic. Is someone complaining on you? No, man, I just, I go on to these live streams and I try to interact with some of these content creators, and they all have one goal. They want to cook you. They want to roast you. They want to call you a fake and a fraud and a LeBron sexual or a LeBron hater. They all want to put people into these boxes. And I don't want to be placed into a box. In fact, I want to retain my independence. I don't want to be a LeBron hater. I don't want to be there. I don't want to be in that group. I don't want to be a LeBron sexual or whatever people say. A LeBron Glazer, knee pad, whatever. The craziest things that let the fanatics do their thing. I just don't want to be a part of it. I don't want to be one of those guys. I don't care for it. I would much rather talk hoops. I would much rather, even if it's in a debate format, I would much rather talk about actual basketball, actual football, Yeah, bro. I don't want to be in those groups. But it's crazy because everybody's out there trying to expose someone, telling you who you are and what you are. Like why? I have no interest in it, you know. At this point though, I think it's gotten to the extent that just like I'm just going to just let it roll off my back. I don't know what else to do cuz no matter what I do, like take for example, I did this video here. LeBron was an elite defender, all NBA DPOY level. It's gotten 218 views, right? At the same time, I dropped the Lakers circus continues as LeBron era comes to screeching halt. The negative video about LeBron got more views. And it's not even really a negative video. It's the fact that LeBron's time in LA is over. That was clear and evident when Luka was traded there. But all of a sudden, that would make me a LeBron hater because I'm acknowledging that his time has come and gone in LA. That qualifies me as a hater. Because I'm not glazing LeBron, I have to be a hater. So you have to go into one group. You either glaze LeBron 100% of the time or you hate him 100% of the time. But that's not how the world works. The world works in situations and scenarios where people do good things and people do not good things. It doesn't even have to be something bad. It could be something less glorious, but it doesn't have to be a bad thing, you know? So here's a video celebrating LeBron's elite defense, a technical breakdown, and it has 20% less views than the one that came out after. See what I mean? So what type of content is the algorithm telling me to make? And I don't want to do that. I don't want to chase views. I want to make the videos I like to make. I want to bring in viewership. I'm not doing this to not engage with viewers. I'm not doing this because, I'm trying to get monetized. I could have already been monetized. I've already reached 1,000 views. 1,000 subscribers. I've already reached the hours requirement. I could have monetized already. I'm not ready to monetize personally because I'm trying to regulate how often I do my streams, regulate how I create content and videos. Then if I decide to monetize, I want to do it. But I want to remain independent. You guys don't hear me running ads on the videos. There's no sponsorships. There's no marketing gimmicks. I mean, if I was creating content more regularly and this was my primary form of income, maybe I would do it. But I'm perfectly content where I am right now. If the time comes and I need to monetize the channel, then I'll address it at that time. But I've been having a lot of fun making my videos the way that I want to. And some of the videos, people call me a LeBron hater. I'm sure somebody's going to call me a LeBron glazer in that video about LeBron's defense, even though I'm objectively evaluating his play. That's where we're at. I'm telling you, Micah. I'm telling you, man. Be Ready Sports Podcast, brother. He said, Sneed, LeBron fans are insane, cannot reason with him. Here's the thing. It's not even just his fans, or I should say the fanatics, right? Like there's a difference. There's like levels to this. Michael Jordan fans do this. Kobe fans do this. All fans can do this. They force you into one of those boxes, the hater box or the glazer box. I don't want to be in those boxes. I mean, whatever. You're going to call somebody that? You want to call me that? Whatever. Good for you. Whatever helps you get your jollies. But I don't care for it. It doesn't do anything for me. I don't feel like I'm not a part of the group if I don't think the shoe fits. I'm not going to wear it. I want to retain my independence. I want to try to be as objective about these players' play as possible. The other stuff, the things that happens off the field, off the court, that stuff can be a little bit more narrative driven and a little bit more, I don't know, social in a way, the social dynamics. But like, I want to retain my independence when at least it comes to the play on the field or the court, the what goes on between the lines, that's kind of where I want to go with my channel and what I want to do, They say Jordan played with 2 Hall of Famers, which is why he won the last three-peat. Yet forget Bron played with 4 Hall of Famers. Well, yeah, I mean that they're going to sit there and argue for their favorite players, but I mean, and you know what I see? Be Ready Sports Podcast. To me, LeBron and MJ are like the same. It's the same kind of, well, I should say the fans are the same. It's the same narratives. It's the same stories. It's the same, well, this guy did this guy. They sit there and argue and fight about it. And it's like, to what end? It never seems to end. It's like the cycle. I mean, you want to celebrate your guy? Good for you. You know, good for you. Happy that you really like him. Pause. You know, that one's for Micah. The pause on that, man. All right, guys, let's do this. Let's start here with this Shannon Sharp story. And the reason I want to start with Mr. Club Shay Shay is because, I mean, this guy, man, like, his career arc is really interesting. So I don't know how far you guys go back with Shannon Sharp. He's a Hall of Fame tight end. He's one of the best to ever do it. Like, no, it's not an exaggeration. Shannon Sharp, Tony Gonzalez, Antonio Gates, Rob Gronkowski, Travis Kelce, obviously, like even in his prime, like Aaron Hernandez, like these were some of the most unique players that ever played the position. I'm trying to think, did I forget any of those great tight ends? Who am I forgetting? Jimmy Graham. Yeah, they were so dominant. I mean, in some ways, Shannon Sharp was like, he was almost like a wide receiver at the position. I don't remember him for his blocking. I'm sure he blocked fine, but I remember him making some really nice catches, and I remember he had great speed, especially for the position. He was very dangerous. A lot of huge plays for the Broncos. Super Bowl there, Super Bowl in Baltimore as well. Yeah, so definitely a Hall of Fame career, not to be questioned. After his Hall of Fame NFL career, he moved to the booth where he was doing like analysis, I think, on CBS. After CBS, I'm not sure what else he did, but I'm pretty sure he ended up at FS1. And he did the show with Skip Bayless, and like that dynamic between him and Skip just took off, right? People loved it. The whole LeBron thing, the goats, the black and milds, the backwoods, the the Hennessy, the hen dog. Yeah, he was hilarious, man. And he matched the energy from Skip on the opposite side of the spectrum. It was the kind of the yin and the yang, right? You have Skip, who absolutely hates, detests, and just completely always tries to, hell on scorching earth on LeBron. And then you have, Mr. Shay Shay, he's like the opposite. He's like the LeBron lover, promotes him, Goat James, the mask and all that, right? They complement each other really well. And it really it blossomed. And then their run ran up, right? They ended their partnership and the show was over, and Skip has yet to even find anything tangible in his career. Club Shay Shay took off, right? He started doing his own shows. He started doing a podcast. What is it called? The Nightcap. Like, all that stuff has been working. He's self-made. Like, he bet on himself and won. He left Skip and it just took off. And this guy he made tons of money. I mean, the Cat Williams thing really took off for his platform. It's all of those things. Now, he has been tied up in so much of this extracurricular stuff to the point he was just fired by ESPN. So he landed at ESPN kind of part-time, more so as an NFL guy, but he also did the NBA stuff because LeBron and all those things, and complimentary to Stephen A. Snitch, and those kind of things. Stephen A. Smith. I mean, everything seems to have been really good for him for his career. I'm gonna get to that, goon. Paid $15 million for it's crazy. I'll get to it though. Yeah, so he gets fired from ESPN recently. And actually couldn't have been worse timing because his brother, Sterling, is about to be inducted into the NFL Hall of Fame. Shay Shay is already in the Hall of Fame. Shay Shay is already a celebrated NFL player, media member, all those things. His brother's finally being enshrined, right? He came out and he did this apology thing for his brother, the timing and all those things. And in that video, he explained that he was let go from ESPN on July 30th. So he's technically, I guess, terminated, or they're not bringing him back or whatever. His departure from ESPN, I guess, is due to a settlement or the developing accusations of the R word. I won't go into any details, but it's like a $50 million R word uh, sexual basalt lawsuit. Okay, I don't know. Like YouTube demonetizes and they flag channels. I'm not monetized, so I don't care about that. But I just don't want to be known as a problematic channel, right? So that's why you kind of see me tiptoe around some of these words. Yeah, so like they're letting him go because this is a company that really cares about optics. We're talking about a Disney company. That's as simple as it gets. So I think he's been with ESPN since 2023. You probably saw him a lot on the First Take episodes with Stephen A. Smith. It's moderated by Molly Karam. It has high views. It probably helped him garner more attention on his own platforms. I know he signed a multi-year extension with the company as recently as last year, but I guess they probably had something in a protection clause that said if you have any type of legal issues, if there's any type of problems with personal conduct, we're going to terminate the contract. So that's where we're at now. With respect to the suit and stuff, I do know that the person who accused him of these things cashed out. Like whatever that settlement was, like she put on her OF page, like she's retiring, she's not making content anymore. That was one of the biggest transfers of wealth on OF that has ever happened. She took him for millions. And this dude, like I said, he's become so successfully on a monetary standpoint, so successful. Like he's gonna have to make this back. I mean, he's been killing it from the nightcap to Club Shay Shay. It's pop culture, it's entertainment, it's sports. He's got his hands at a bunch of stuff. Now, the fact that he was fired, I mean, this is really the only thing we could point to. What's changed in his life? You can't say that it could have been anything else, right? I mean, unless there's some other accusation. I think I saw a coach mention it in the chat. He's about to get sued again for 20 million. If that's true, I mean, how much money does he really have? And how much fighting can you do without, if you keep getting sued, man, and you can't make it fast enough? Man, I know he hasn't been on the show in a couple of months. I never heard them reference it or say anything about it, right? So they were trying to downplay it. Once he reached his settlements with the accusers, I think it was just that opportunity that they were just like, all right, we're just going to cut ties with him. We can't have the optics, these accusations with this type of a person who's being accused of these things. I don't know. The story with the OF person, whatever, you guys can take from it whatever you like. If there indeed is more confirmation of other things, Coach, I don't know. That could be true, might not be. I don't know. You never know until stuff is proven. If there's another settlement, I think that gives us your answer. I don't know, man. It's just it's a nasty fall from grace. You're talking about a guy who I think was at his peak media form. Like, do you guys think he could bounce back from this? Do you think he could reascend back into his prominent position, to his financial position? Could he get back on a platform like ESPN after these types of allegations? A lot of that stuff is to be determined, and I'd say it's unlikely. I mean, certain things are just, he's going to seem like an untouchable. Almost as if to say he's kind of blacklisted. Goon chimes in. He said, yes, people love him. I don't doubt that. I think a lot of people really enjoy the entertainment value he brings to his content, but some of that stuff looks bad. It's like stains. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Yeah, I'm not so sure. I can tell you it is going to be an uphill battle, because once the media has it out for you, like they could take it and run with it. Look at what the media has done to certain people in the sports world. Look at what they did to Mahmoud Abdul Rauf. Look what they did to Kareem. They make these guys seem like they're aloof. They make them seem like malcontents, like they're resistance, like they're a problem, like they're a societal issue. And that's unfortunate because you could be missing on very quality individuals who could be contributing to the game and contributing to those platforms, whether it's the sport itself or it's the tentacles that reach out from the sport, you know? And that's a really good point. Be Ready Podcast. Coach is right. That's the two biggest sports media outlets. ESPN, right, which is the biggest, then FS1 is the second. I'm not sure, like, does he end up with like Bleacher Report or some other platform? Maybe a smaller one, maybe one that doesn't have the same financial obligations, to advertisers, and image and optics and things like that. So anyways, I don't know, where you guys stand with this. I don't even know if you guys are really that much into, Shannon Sharp or whatever he's done or whatever. But I mean, obviously we can have that civil conversation. I'm going to go ahead and drop the link. It's in the live chat. If you guys want to tap in and let me know your thoughts and opinions, or if there's information that that pertains to the situation that maybe impacted it. I don't know, man. Like, do you guys want to see Shannon Sharp in the industry? I think the industry is better with him in it because he brings a dynamic. He's the pro LeBron story, right? He delivers that message. I mean, that's what he's become. And he's also a credible NFL source, right? He always talks about the locker room. He talks and shares about his experiences as a player, the winning of the Super Bowls, right? The fact that he's like one of the best to ever do it at his position. It's credibility up the wazoo. And then he has all that entertainment with it. It's actually the perfect combination of characteristics and qualities. You can't just bring on great players and put them in front of hot mics. They have to bring something to the table additionally because they're in front of cameras, because they're in front of microphones. They have to do more than just be a great player. They can find all types of great players, but the entertainment value he brings, the clientele that he brings to the table that appreciates his form of comedy, his insights, his techniques, or whatever he does to entertain people. Coach, I think him staying within the NFL combines or the confines of the NFL content. I think that's perfectly fine. Yeah, I don't think that's going to be an issue. Coach T, what up, sir?
What up? What up?
How you doing, brother?
Gotta be ready, stay ready. Hey.
Tell him where you're at, Coach. Tell him where to find you, man.
That's my platform right there. Be Ready Sports Podcast. We're new to the podcast world. I can't believe how fast we're growing, Sneed. We're almost at 200 subscribers in 2 months.
Yeah, and you know what's going to happen. It's gonna have a different pace soon enough. Like it's gonna catch in the algorithm. You're gonna get a bunch of views, and then it's gonna start getting into the recommended feeds, and then it's gonna grow even faster. You're gonna reach more people. It's exciting, man. Glad to hear.
It's like it just started as an idea. We just we wasn't expecting nothing of it. We just like, well, let's go out here, let's promote these youth athletes out here, do some interviews, and hey, let them talk sports.
Yeah.
Not major top. No, I don't throw the major topics at them. They
you got to keep it to the level, right?
Yeah, because they don't know about life yet. Then we wouldn't talk about this on my show.
Of course not.
Can you talk about this with a 12 and 15-year-old athlete?
Nah, a little too early for that.
Yeah, that'll be insane. But I find some fun stuff to highlight with them. Talk about some like random stuff like what we did last time, like which NFL conference has the most championships, so you can guess it. And
well, do they get these kind of questions right?
Sometimes.
Wow. Okay.
Sometimes, but they never get. But they thought it was the AFC South, but nope, it was the NFC East.
Oh, the division. Oh, okay.
The division, yeah. The division that has the most Super Bowls is the NFC East. 14, because all four teams in the division has won multiple Super Bowls.
Yeah, that's how you stack them up quick. Nice.
Yeah, he stacked them.
Anyways, coach, give me your take on this Shea situation. He's been removed from ESPN. It's I think I don't want to say his future's up in the air because he has his own platform, so it's not like they can bury him, but he's clearly fallen out of favor at the two biggest sports outlets in sports.
Yeah, and he got let go for two separate reasons. Um, well, there's no thing to regurgitate what happened in AF's FS1. You know, that was years ago, but it was conflict in the workplace. Reason why they parted ways with Shannon there. But this is something that was 100% in his control.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's the extracurriculars they just caught up with him. And I think the reason the I know I want it's your show. I don't I want to keep it PG. But you remember that the allegations that came up on social media, I think it was about a year or two ago,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, with one of his sponsors, and they were like he had a breezy in the background
Hmm.
of that video, and
Yeah.
he completely denied it.
Hmm.
Then he said it happened, and they let it slide. They let it slide, and I think because that let it slide, he's like, okay, if I'll be a little bit more careful, I can keep up with my extracurricular activities.
Is he
And
really that messy, coach? Is he really that sloppy about how he conducts business?
it has to be if he got caught three times.
Man,
Well, I'll say twice because the third one hasn't been. This new one that just popped up hasn't been proven yet. But
but what's crazy is like for his case, like he became very wealthy very fast. Like everything was hitting for him. So the money situation was going well. This is a setback for him, right? It kind of hurts, man.
well, it's 100% on him too because you're at a. He's not a Cat Williams. He's not no disrespect to Cat Williams, but he's not a lower level celebrity. He's not a lower level athlete. You're Shannon Sharp. You're at the top. You're in tier one. You you can't go around partying and throwing your what around.
And is
Uh,
he a target at that point?
you make yourself a target.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you put yourself out there and you make yourself a target by being irresponsible. It's like when you're he's older than me. He's like in his 50s. When you're at that age, you should be your main focus is keeping a legacy for your next generation, building generational wealth, passive income, and growing and keeping your brand growing, not trying to relive your not saying this is what he's doing, but not trying to relive your 20s.
Coach, do you think it's ironic that he's the guy always given like on his show, for example, right? He's always talking about relationships. He's always talking about people making mistakes on his show. He's giving advice to people, but he's making these massive public mistakes.
But you got to understand, Sneed, and this goes into psychology that I took in college. You have to read in between the lines with that, and you have to read body language. It's he's speaking when you hear people that always want to give advice. Like I'm not talking about like sports, like okay, you work on your game and these. No, I'm talking about like life advice all the time
Mhm.
when it's not asked for.
Right.
They're letting stuff off of their chest that's going on with them.
Yeah.
It's he's virtually telling you what he's going through because we're men. Men. We don't just get on live stream like, "Hey, man, I got all these mental health. No, we do it different ways.
Do
We
storytelling.
we do storytelling. We go party. We go
Mhm.
hang out at this place. We go do things that we know we're not supposed to do. To let off steam, to let that go, to get get that out of the way. But it's not good when it's hurting your financials, because we're in a we're in an economical situation while every dollar matter.
Hmm.
Like, it doesn't matter if you're a millionaire, thousandaire, or living working paycheck to paycheck. Every dollar matters in 2025, going into 2026. You can Nobody can afford this to
I mean, it's a wealth transfer, coach. That girl got a lot of money. She'll never have to work a day in her life. She won't
she
have to make content anymore.
women women are I'm not going to go full on Steve here on your show, but but
Yo, shout out to the king of the format podcast live
but
chat, man.
women do think different than us. They think 5 moves ahead. So
So,
this was calculated.
mm,
You don't just wake up one morning and say, "Oh, okay, yeah, I'm gonna sue this man for 50 million." No, she plotted. She planned that.
setup, right?
She planned that. She thinks five. They think they move 5 moves ahead of us. So that was just a situation that he set up for. But to answer your question, can he bounce back? Maybe. Um, but I feel like TV space is not going to be anytime soon. He's you know how it is. You damn
Yeah,
when something's hot like this, sponsors and everything back up until it cools down. You
yeah.
know, and then they'll wait to see who's going to make the first move, and then slowly it comes back slowly. We've seen that with multiple athletes that have
But it's
been
baby
accused
steps.
of.
But it's
Yeah,
baby steps, you know.
look at Ray Lewis and all these other guys
He
that have
worked
been
his way
accused of
back in the
more
fold.
egregious
Yeah.
things than this,
Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
bounce back.
Yeah.
So I think he'll bounce back, but it won't be on the TV space because this you're in media. You just got fired by the top two, FS1 and now ESPN. Um, Only thing I could think of, maybe NFL Network take a chance on them. Throw them on one of their, on one of their football analyst shows that's on the network. Maybe he'll bounce. Maybe he'll get a shot there
Hmm.
and see how it goes. You still got the podcasting world. People are still going to stream to his show. I don't know if Club Shay Shay is still going. I haven't seen any updates on it, but I know he's still doing Nightcap. I know that's still going because I didn't watch it, but I got an alert. He was talking about his situation on Nightcap.
Well, he hasn't been as available, so there must have been something to it. You know,
Right.
it's a show that he did with regularity. Anyways, we'll see what happens. I think you might be onto something there, coach. Hey, coach, I'm going to move on to the next topic, but if you could maybe come back on future topics, we'd love to have you back on some other things too.
All right, because I was just gonna make a comment
Oh, go ahead.
about no chill Gil, man. Um, this is all I'm going to say is, and I've been saying this for a long time, and people will always tell me I'm hating. I said he is a very immature man that is
I'd
not
say that's
happy
accurate. I'd
that
say
is
that's
not
accurate.
happy with and that's not happy with what's going on behind the scenes of his life. So he gets it
Mm.
off in jokes. And he thinks life is one big joke. And he thinks the situation that he's in is one big joke.
Yeah, I would
Like,
say that that's
you
not a good outlook.
I'm gonna say this, and then I'll let you move on. And then no, I ain't gonna say I'll let you. This is your show. What am I talking about? I let you. Who you think you are, coach? Telling somebody on his show that you
It's
gonna
all
let him?
good, Coach T. It's
Nah.
all good, bro.
No, what I'm gonna say is, like, you're dealing with intense people. I
Yeah,
just say that.
yeah.
Mafia that
Mhm.
don't care that you're Gilbert Arenas. Like, he put himself. It's not a laughing matter. He put himself in a very, very sticky situation that they're going to use him to get after the big fish. So he's going to have to sing,
Mm,
and those are people that you don't want to sing again.
yeah.
So, and he's a public figure, so you can't hide him in witness protection.
Yeah.
This is a messy situation.
Yeah, it is.
And
Probably worse than people know.
picture Gil doing 15 years.
Yeah. We've seen it. We've seen this type of situation happen. People do, serious time.
He's looking at it, man. And it's like I said, he's laughing about it, and I just cringed
I
when
don't
I
believe
saw that
him.
video, and I was like, this can't be true because this is not a laughing matter, man.
Not at all. Yeah, I'm with you on that, coach.
And
All right.
your son is about to get into the league. Elijah, he went through all this. That's who you should be. I'm gonna leave that alone. All right, Sneed, thank you for
Thanks,
having me,
coach.
man. I'm
Yep, you're
gonna
welcome. We'll see you
tune in
soon
to
on
you.
another segment. All right. Make sure you come back.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you. Coach T in the building. All right, let's go ahead and pivot. Let's go to this next topic. And this one hits home. All right, so look, a lot of Cleveland Browns fans have become apathetic. They have become used to, numb, and callous to these types of situations. I don't think people realize this, but the situation between the Cleveland Browns and Shedeur Sanders, this is exactly what one would think would happen with this particular setup or scenario with this player. Shedeur Sanders was drafted by the Cleveland Browns. To me, that means the GM said, "You're good enough for the NFL. You are good enough for our roster. And we believe by investing this draft capital into you, we believe that you could be a player in this league and help us win." Let's just start there. The foundation of what the Browns did when they drafted Shedeur Sanders. Also, when you drafted Shedeur Sanders, you accept what comes with him, which is part of the allure or part of the, I guess you could say it could be positive or negative. The energy that surrounds this young man, because his father, a former player, former star, coach at the school he went to, and off the field or attitude, or I don't even know how you want to characterize it, locker room. This kid's coming into the NFL being drafted by a team, and he doesn't have the support of the team. Why did you draft him if you weren't going to develop him, if you weren't going to support him, invest the time, energy, and resources into this player? Why would you be wasting his time? Why would you be wasting your time? But this is exactly what the Browns do. More specifically, it's what this owner does, Jimmy Haslam. That's really where this comes from. So he made some comments about the draft process of Shedeur Sanders. I'll save you guys the time. You don't even have to go back and listen to the clip. He basically said he is not taking responsibility for drafting Shedeur. He put that on Andrew Berry, who is the Browns GM. Now, in and of itself, that's what the GM is supposed to do. The GM is supposed to draft the players. What the hell kind of a structure in your organization do you have in which you have the owner taking power away from the GM? You're supposed to relegate those powers and those responsibilities, or delegate it. If you intervene, now you shift the focus to you. Now you're saying like it's on you. You were part of the draft process. So we've never heard Jimmy Haslam say anything about drafting players like, oh, this is Andrew Berry's pick. He's the one who did it. You never did that for Baker. You never talked about this with any of the other drafted quarterbacks. By the way, Cleveland Browns quarterback drafting, legendary, meaning the worst in all of the sport of the NFL. Like no team has more problems at that premium position than the Cleveland Browns. What have they had? Like 60 starting quarterbacks since they've come back after being relocated to the Baltimore Ravens and then getting their franchise back and becoming an expansion team. They have been a train wreck, and that position has been a problem for like 99% of the time. Shedeur Sanders needs an opportunity. He is supposed to be given that opportunity by being drafted. You drafted him. He should be getting some reps. He should be getting some experience. He should be talking to coaches. He should have the support of his owner. Why did you volunteer this information, Mr. Jimmy Haslam? You are telling on yourself that your organization and you are incompetent. Coming out and saying that you had nothing to do with this pick, putting the responsibility on the GM, volunteering this info. Who asked you? No other GM is doing this. Maybe Jerry Jones. And how's things going in Dallas? See what I'm saying? This is a bad look. Why do you all up in the video? You got to be all in front of the media. You want to talk like you get your jollies, but you're losing and you're harming your team's chances to succeed. You have a quarterback room with 4 quarterbacks and you don't have an answer of who's going to be what. You don't know who's starting week 1. You don't know who's going to be starting week 8. You don't know who is going to be your second string, who's your future. You don't have any of those answers, but all you have is that Shedeur Sanders was not your pick, and that was Andrew Berry, the GM. The Browns organization is so dysfunctional from the ownership to the GM and all the way down. This is exactly who they are. I don't know what to say to Browns fans because I am a Browns fan. I mean, they're my home team, but I'm not a fan of what the organization does. And like my brother-in-laws have completely bounced on the Browns. They said they got a new team. They're like rolling with the Pittsburgh Steelers because they live in Pittsburgh. So they're Steelers fans now. They're done with the Browns. Lifers, Browns lifers. It's because of shit like this. It's this. But it's not just this. There's more. There's more. The Deshaun Watson thing. The Baker Mayfield thing. They mishandled everything every step of the way. And here we are. Look what they just did with Nick Chubb recently. Like, why? It's insane. I hope that things fail for Cleveland as it pertains to Shedeur so that he can have a legitimate opportunity somewhere else to be a good player. He deserves an opportunity. He deserves to be able to show and prove. He doesn't deserve to have anything handed to him, but he deserves to get a chance to earn. He's afforded that as a draft pick. And he doesn't deserve to be shit on by his owner. I shouldn't even say his owner. The owner of the Browns, the team he plays for. Got to be kidding me, man. Unbelievable. What a trash franchise with a garbage owner. It's just awful. All right, let's go ahead and transition. Let's talk men's health Luka. Yeah, let's do that. All right, so men's health Luka. There's a lot being made of men's health Luka on the cover of a magazine, all this. And you know what? Open up the mic. You know what, Goon? How could I have not offered this to you guys? Link is in the chat. I can't believe I tried to move on. We're going to go back to the Shedeur thing. I got to take these calls. I know you guys want to talk. Let's do it. All right, link is in the live chat. If you guys want to chime in and discuss this particular topic of Jimmy Haslam's comments, basically exposing Andrew Berry as the guy who drafted Shedeur, and Jimmy wasn't supportive of it. He didn't want to draft Shedeur. And look, Jimmy Haslam has a right to not want a player. That's fine. But if you let the GM make the picks and the GM picked him, don't you have a certain amount of respect, a certain amount of trade secrets? Those are things you don't need to disclose. Nobody asked you. It's so strange. Goon, what up, bro?
What up, man?
What's going on?
What
bro?
up, bro?
All right.
Shedeur, man, since we traded Baker, bro, I was heartbroken. But, bro, Shedeur's finally getting some reps.
Yeah.
With the first team, bro.
Mm-hmm.
2 for 3, bro. He cooked.
How's he looking, bro? He's
looking good, bro. He's looking as we expected, bro. He should have been a first-round pick, like in this year's draft, I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so frustrating because of bum-ass Jimmy Haslam, bro. I can't with this guy. I don't know how he's still the owner. I don't know why we haven't sold the goddamn team yet. Like, it just makes no sense.
All right, so let's bring it back a notch, right? Jimmy bought the team. He's the majority owner. So you can't get rid of him.
He's a meddling owner, bro.
But you can't get rid of the owner. He owns it.
He needs to sell the team is what I'm saying.
But he doesn't need to do anything, so we're stuck with the situation.
No, bro, I'm saying like riots outside of his house, bro. Do this shit like the French Revolution, man. Like, come on. Not
Yo,
with the Kings.
getting serious about it, bro.
Bro, I am because he's a bum. He's a bum. He's a scrub. Like,
If I talked about it in my video. If I look at the worst owners in the league, he's in the bottom 25%, like
bro,
the
he's in
bottom
the
fourth.
bottom. He's the bottom 32, bro. He's
Well,
the
look,
worst
he
one.
might be the worst. He might be
It's
second
not
worst,
close.
third worst.
It's
I don't
not
even know.
close.
I don't know how to quantify it, but I know he's
I
one of
do.
the
He's
worst ones.
who else is even in the range of being as
I
bad?
think
as Jimmy Haslam?
like the Panthers ownership is not great. I think
At least the Panthers made it to a Super
I
Bowl.
think the Jags ownership is not great.
At least the Panthers made it to the Super Bowl.
The Cowboys are
You know what
kind of
I mean?
screwed.
Okay,
I mean,
Jerry
that's
Jones
a bad
won
one.
a bunch of rings before, though.
Right, but look at what he's doing now to his team.
Yeah.
He's kind of doing like this is the Jimmy Haslam thing, right?
Yeah, it's exactly the Jimmy Haslam thing because he's meddling in affairs that aren't his to meddle in.
Well, they're
Like,
his
GM's job.
things to deal with behind closed doors. Like, why
Yeah.
did you come out and do this?
Because he's a bum. These teams are poverty. They're made fun of constantly.
Yeah,
The Cowboys haven't made it past the second round in forever.
90s.
And they have expectations to, but they never do.
Yeah. The bad owners in the NFL stick out.
Yeah.
You know how you know? Because they talk too much.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bro,
they
and
talk
this is
too
the
much.
problem with the Browns. It's the ownership, and nothing will change until the ownership changes.
The fish always rots from the head down. You know what I'm saying? So he's clearly a problem. Now, if you backtrack and check the history on Jimmy Haslam, he had a minority stake in the Steelers.
Yeah.
And he moved his stake from the Steelers. He had to completely disconnect in order to buy the Browns, right?
Yeah.
So he became the majority owner of the Cleveland Browns. And he's owned it since 2012. What have we accomplished since 2012?
We made, I think it was a divisional round, and that was about it.
You're talking about the year that we almost beat the Chiefs?
Yes. And,
Okay.
and then he traded the player that led us there for jack shit. Like,
And-
for literally nothing.
When you think about it, like, so and it'll come back to this whole situation. That was a quarterback decision that happened.
Yes.
They made a clear decision to move on from Baker, jump the process to try to say, okay, well, Deshaun Watson, let's take a chance on this guy.
That was
who
a
hasn't
Haslam
played-
call. Too.
Listen,
There's no way that was Barry.
and I'll prove it. The reason how you know that was a Haslam call is because you don't hear him talking about Andrew Berry being on the hot seat.
Yep.
See, if Andrew Berry made that call, he would have been fired already.
Yeah.
Because that was one of the worst contracts ever offered and signed in
Was
football.
the worst contract in football.
I mean, he got so much guaranteed, and he's been injured. He's been
off the
hurt,
roster.
and he's had
not even
legal
playing.
issues.
He's had legal issues. He's not even playing anymore for us, Sneed.
He's technically on payroll.
Because if we don't pay him, then like we just screw.
No,
ourselves.
he's on payroll.
Yeah, because if
He's
we
on
don't
our
cut
roster.
him, if we cut him, we lose a ridiculous amount of money or something.
Okay, so I'm saying that's probably a Jimmy thing.
It was a Jimmy
Here we
thing.
are, and
No
here
doubt.
we are again with Shedeur. So you have draft capital put into a player. Why are you exposing things that nobody's asking you these questions?
Because he's Jimmy Haslam and he's an idiot.
Why don't we want to see Shedeur grow and flourish and find success with our helmets on?
Yeah, no idea.
Like what's the outcome gonna be, Goon? Is it gonna be him leaving Cleveland and doing something worth a damn somewhere else?
Yes, and that's exactly what's going to happen, and he's going to prove everyone wrong. All this kid does, all I see the clips of him doing, is helping the community and working. That's all he does. I don't understand how, like, on earth, like, he's not our franchise guy.
So this is crazy.
in college.
Think about that. You're talking about a guy who's doing good things in the community, but what was Deshaun Watson doing?
Going on cruises in Cancun, bro. Like nothing. He was doing nothing, bro. You know that fire? I think it was on the east side. Like,
Yeah.
Shedeur had a whole event for that, bro. Food trucks, pictures, everything for free. For free. He just spent time with these people and helped them in their time.
So we're gonna
Never take a
rain
shot
on
at
his
that,
parade. We're gonna put him out there and make him exposed, saying that nobody wanted him, including their own owner. That's what we're gonna do. That was the move, Jimmy Haslam.
Like I just,
Bro, teams are like family. There's a certain amount of loyalty that has to
bro,
be
and you see
preserved.
all the players there love him. All of them love him. Like, it's
Bro,
ridiculous.
he's Prime's kid.
Yes, bro, and Prime is one of the probably top
And
five NFL player ever.
Shedeur can play.
Yes, and Shedeur can play.
You got draft capital in him, draft stock, and this is what you're doing. That's the move.
And I got nothing against Dylan Gabriel. He's a great player, but bro, he's not Shedeur Sanders. Like, Man, it just pisses me off because I'm a fan of this team. I mean, I like the Lions because of Waymo, but like, bro, like, come on now,
we're gonna do a topic pretty soon on the Lions. You
bro.
better chime in
You
on
know
that
I'll
one.
be there, bro. You know I'll be
Yeah,
there.
yeah. All right, Goon. Thanks, bro.
Late.
All right, it's my dude, Goon. Appreciate you, bro. All right, let's jump back into this because I didn't see anybody waiting in the lobby. Let's do this. Let's shift our attention over to men's health Luka. And there's a very specific reason why I want to talk about men's health Luka. And that's because I think people need to understand what the Lakers are and are not with Luka fit or with him out of shape or whatever else. The thing about like men's health Luka, I don't know if you guys noticed it, but this is basically an ad campaign. This is a marketing 101 lesson on how you fix problems. You can fix problems by actually fixing the problems, right? Going under the hood, fixing the things that are failing or not working properly or as designed or engineered. Or and companies do this, you just advertise that you fix the problem to convince people in their minds that the problem is fixed. So here's what the Lakers are doing. Here's what Luka is doing. Fixing the problem, right? He's getting into shape. He's taking his conditioning more seriously. He's looking leaner. He's looking fitter. The body fat percentage is dropping. So he's likely becoming quicker laterally. He's likely going to be able to finish games. What did we see from Luka last season? We saw him fizzling out at the end of games. We saw him getting tired. We saw him exploding for 20 points in the first quarter of games. And then we saw him doing not much the rest of the game. And we saw him getting cooked on defense and having trouble keeping up with players that he had to defend. He seems to be tending to those things, which is fine. I do want to also remind people that what he does in the offseason has no impact on the season. Like, he still has to go out and play. He still has to go and play, in all likelihood, about 40 minutes a game, right? That's probably what he's going to average next year. He's going to be playing 40 minutes a game because the Lakers' best chance at winning involves him being their primary scorer, their primary playmaker. Everything that has to do with the offense will revolve around him. So he likely won't be sitting much. So it behooves him to be conditioned and fit. The Lakers, on a technical standpoint, should be better this year than last year because they, I guess, technically fixed or filled in some glaring holes. They added Marcus Smart, who should help them with perimeter defense. They added DeAndre Ayton, who should help them with rebounding. And I guess they say he can protect the rim. I don't know about all that, but whatever. He can provide you with 16 and 10, right? 10 rebounds, 16 points. It would be an upgrade over whatever center play they got last year. Okay, so you filled a couple of needs. But you did lose a couple of pieces, I think. Dorian Finney-Smith goes to the Rockets, whatever else is going on with the roster. LeBron's a year older, so the expectations need to be realistic. I'm not here to shit on LeBron, but I know that Luka's going to have to carry. He has to. It's his job. He's going to turn 26 this year, I think. He wants a mega deal, and who knows if it's going to be with the Lakers or someone else. I think it's going to be with the Lakers. I think it makes sense for his career. They surround him with talent. He wins some championships in LA. I mean, he's a legend, right? And that's just another Laker legend. Like that's a huge team in all of sports, like across any sport, NFL, NBA, MLB, be damned. It's the Lakers, right? It's a storied franchise. It's them. It's the Celtics. They're the royalty of the NBA. It would be huge for his career and his star power if he wins as a Laker. It puts him in the ilk with Shaquille O'Neal if he wins multiple rings, Kobe Bryant if he wins multiple rings, Magic Johnson. There's an opportunity to enter that space as a legend, And it would be an accomplishment for him to also carry LeBron, who's in his 23rd NBA season, I think, which is crazy. But that's why he's conditioning. He knows he's going to have to do a lot for this team. He wasn't able to do that last year. I mean, since Luka got to the Lakers, I'm pretty sure LeBron played more games than him as a Laker. Luka missed time with that calf injury, before he got to LA, and when he got there, he was still injured. So I bet you LeBron not only logged more minutes, played more games, but just the minutes, right? Like it's probably undeniable. Look, I don't know for a fact that LeBron played more minutes. I'm guessing because Luka missed a lot of games, I also don't think that the Lakers are done. I think moves have to happen. And I don't know if they're happening mid-season or if they're happening after the next season, but the Lakers believe that they can build a championship roster around Luka. Speaking to a sports fan today, a guy who has a YouTube channel, we were talking about the Lakers, and he doesn't believe that the Lakers can win with Luka. And that's a perfectly defendable position because the Dallas Mavericks put a good team around Luka and they still lost in the finals, I think 4-1 against the Celtics a couple years ago. So those are valid points. But he still has to play. The fitness piece is nice, but you're going to have to play regular season games. How many regular season games does Luka have to play? I mean, he's got to play in a bulk majority of the games. Or else they're not going to be very good. I'm telling you guys, like, think about it. LeBron he's at the end of his line. Some people speculating this is his retirement year, his swan song and all that. Maybe, might be true. But he can't carry. When he doesn't have to do too much, he could be a productive player. I think he averaged 24, 25 points a game, 8 rebounds, 8 assists. There were obviously some game situations where it didn't look like, he was giving his best effort on defense and those kind of things. Like that's all evident and we understand it. And this is not this segment was not to shit on LeBron. It's to acknowledge the realization that this is an opportunity to win one for yourself and Luka and win one for LeBron, who I'm sure at some point these guys look at each other and respect each other. I don't think Luka has anything but respect for LeBron. Ultimately, deep down inside, he recognizes him as one of the greatest players to ever play the game. And I bet you it would be an accomplishment for him to win one with him. So it would be huge. It would be beautiful and amazing if they were to pull it off this year. How realistic is it? I don't think JJ Redick's a good coach. I think he's an obstacle. I don't think LeBron can get you into those playoff scenarios, and it's going to be just really tough on him if he's got to log 40. 2020, look at the endings of these seasons for the Lakers. And that's with one of the best two-way players to ever play the game in Anthony Davis. And with decent roster construction, guys with defined roles. They weren't able to beat the Nuggets, right, in those prime moment games. They got swept by them in 2023. Did they get swept by them in 2024? And then, of course, they lost in 5 to the Timberwolves. And you watch LeBron at the end of those games, and it's just like, it's a reminder that he's 40 years old. Amazing player, amazing career. Just have to be realistic about it. Luka's going to have to carry a lot. So good for him that he's doing his thing, right? Good for him that he's getting fit. This is what you have to do. This is what LeBron did for 20 years. LeBron carried for 2 decades. He carried the Cavs in terms of being their primary offensive weapon. He became an MVP. He became an NBA Finals MVP. Like LeBron was that type of player for a long time, carrying a lot of responsibility. Now it's Luka, right? Now it's Luka. Look, I don't know if you guys have any comments or opinions on Luka and this men's health thing. I just want people to pump the brakes. Just because Luka is getting into shape, just because he's conditioning, just because he's improving his fitness, the body fat percentage is decreasing. He's chiseled, he's lean, he's vascular, he's muscular. Now he's got biceps. Pause. All that's cool. And you can have a man crush all you want. That's not my business. It's yours. But I just pump the brakes and let's see how this plays out on the floor. I want to see the Lakers be competitive. I want to see the Lakers in a prime position to make a playoff run. I have expectations for the Lakers because that's what Lakers do. Lakers make playoffs. Lakers make finals runs. Lakers win championships. Luka is supposed to be a championship player. LeBron is a championship player in terms of pedigree, but where is he in his career, right? Luka is going to have to carry a lot this year. Coach T, what up?
Woo, woo, woo.
What up? We talking Lakers, bro?
You asked and I delivered. No, I'm just kidding. Um, I'm we haven't conversated a lot on sports. I think we've been on format for maybe like a couple shows. So this is like the first time like me and you just like sat down and talk sports. I'm one of the more realistic Laker fans you'll ever meet. I'm not one of those retarded ones. Well, sorry for using that word on your show, but I'm not one of those ones that's not realistic. Like this is gonna be this next season is gonna be just a ride it out season. They're not they made the moves that they're made is not to win the championship. It's just to get through next season. They these are just write off contracts. They're looking for the free agent agency of 2027. Uh, that's when a lot of big free agents are going to be on the market. So that's what they're looking for. As you see, Jokic didn't re up his. The Giannis rumors, there's two big names that could be out there on 2027, and then there's a few others. So they're hoping that they can land one of those big guys, those big free agents to pair them with Luka. The problem, the only concern that we have with Luka is number one on the defensive end. He's never been uh, a top defensive guy. He's been a guy that they've been picked on. Like you've seen what the Celtics did to them in the finals in 2024. They notoriously went at him, and you see what happened last year with the Lakers and Timberwolves series. They, set screen, so they got the ISO on Luka or Austin Reeves, and bam, they capitalized on it because I I already did my rant on my show about that series. But when you have Dante DiVincenzo looking like uh the rebirth of Mark Price, you see what I did there? See what I did there on your Cavaliers? When you have him looking like a rebirth of Mark Price, you're terrible defensively. And now they're interested in him. I don't know why, but so it's you're talking about a franchise that understands the process, but you're talking about a franchise that doesn't have a lot of patience either. As you see, the longest drought we've had was in the '90s,
Hmm.
and that was what.
You're talking about post Magic, pre Kobe, Shaq.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
that whole '90s era, that was the longest the Lakers has been down without winning
7, 8, 9 years, maybe in
a championship. The whole the
10
whole
years.
'90s era, like we went in
Oh yeah,
'90.
yeah. All the champions were in the '80s and the 2000s. Yeah,
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 yeah, we went to the finals in '91 season, but
and lost
that
to the
was just
Bulls. Yeah.
that transition decade. Because and I think one of the things I heard was the situation with Magic because they were trying to make one more run with Magic. That's why they brought Nick Van Exel to come in and be his backup, and you know that's why they brought in Eddie Jones. He was, he because of his slashing ability, he would have been. They were looking to pair him with Magic and keep that Showtime, Lakers going. They had still have Vlade
Hmm.
that they just brought in, so they were going to get some chemistry with him, and then that happened, so they had to pivot. And but that's been the longest. They won a title in almost every decade except for the '90s. So the Lakers are not a patient organization, and they have always made their moves in free agency and trade. It's rarely been in the draft. Besides Magic, who have we drafted since Magic Johnson that changed the franchise?
Kobe,
We didn't draft Kobe.
but he was a draft night trade.
It was a draft night trade, but we didn't draft him.
That's the same moment as a draft,
Yeah.
though. It's
But
all in the same moment.
I'll let you have that. I'll let you
Yeah,
have
it's
it,
it's in
Steve.
the same moment, coach.
I'll
Come
let you
on,
have
man.
it.
Yeah,
I'll
I
let
mean,
you have
I
it.
get it. It's technical, but Jerry West wanted him, and the
Yeah,
Lakers didn't have a pick, so they had to move up to get him in a trade.
yeah. And they love Vlade. They did not want to part ways with Vlade, because
Yeah, they
they
did.
had
They really liked
Vlade.
him. Yeah.
They really love Vlade because of his passing ability. He had that brought that Euro style to the NBA.
I mean, the more you could do for your team, right, coach? That's really what you could do for your team.
Yeah, and you saw how deadly he was
Yeah.
in Sacramento. Now
He
that's
gave
the
the
real.
Lakers problems. Yeah.
Yeah, Shaq, especially Shaq. He said it that was one of his toughest matchups was against
He
Vlade.
said him. He said, PJ Brown, Ben Wallace. It was always the guy who was a little shorter, could get the leverage and
The leverage,
create
yeah.
those problems.
But that's a topic for another day because I'm
Uh-huh.
how you gonna claim somebody to be the most dominant when they have flaw. Um,
Yeah,
because
nobody's perfect. I'm a Wilt guy personally. You know me, Coach T. I'm a
yeah, that's
Wilt
where I
guy.
was going.
I'm a Wilt guy. Yeah, yeah.
I'll I always say this has been my take because you know I was blessed to have an older father that was able to see Bill Russell and them play live and in person. So I got stories for days for you, Sneed, about when my dad told me about how Wilt played. Um,
We'll do a show on the legacy players one of these days, and we'll do that. But I want to show you something, Coach. Check this out. These are the odds on championship numbers for this NBA season up and coming. So left hand side, I got the OKC. They're the favorites, clearly, right? So they're expecting them to kind of, I guess, be in a position to repeat. Doesn't mean that they're going to repeat, but they're the odds-on favorite. And you know what? I'm not mad about it. Their defense
yeah,
was
they,
completely dominant. So
they're the defending
um,
champions, and they're bringing back
bringing back
their
everybody,
squad.
right? SGA is going to be better. J Dub's going to be better. Chet's going to be better. They're going to improve their game, and the offense could take a step forward, right?
Yeah,
So I'm good with that.
and they have the
Then,
playoff experience now. You can't
right,
say they don't have
exactly. They won it. But check this out, Coach. Knicks at number 2, Cavs and Nuggets are 4th. Now, I personally think that I like the Nuggets over both the Cavs and the Knicks. But then you got Houston, and then it's kind of a steep drop off. You go from plus 800
yeah,
to plus
it is.
1600, and it's the Clippers and the Lakers. So even though I think kind of what you alluded to in the beginning, your preface was you're like realistic about your Laker fandom. The money is still going to LA on some level. They're still, if you look at the rankings here, right? They're still like 6th, most likely.
Yeah, and I think it's more because of LeBron and Luka. They've they're not going to count them out. They're showing them their respect.
Is Austin Reeves anything?
No,
Is JJ Redick anything?
no,
Is DeAndre Ayton anything?
no. But I'll pivot back to the Lakers in a second before we wrap this up. But the one thing I feel is no shot at the Knicks, but having them above Houston when they have besides OKC they have the most complete roster in the NBA
Well,
going
the
into
odds are
next.
pretty close. The odds are close, right? The Knicks are plus 700.
Yeah, but they
The
should.
Nuggets are plus
I don't
800.
feel like the Knicks are the way the rosters are constructed right now.
They just
Um,
re-signed Mikal Bridges, so they brought back him. The other guys are all under contract. I think they're
that was a
good
key.
there.
That was a key. That was a key. Yeah, I saw that today too. That was
Yeah.
a key re-sign.
You got to keep your guys, right?
You
You
got
got
to.
to, yeah.
You got to have Jalen Brunson needs another hog out there,
Mhm.
and Mikal Bridges can do that, and he's reliable. So
Yes.
so
Yes.
that's the main thing. But above Houston, I know this is just preseason. It will change as the season gets closer. But over Houston, I don't know. Denver has made some moves. They brought back Bruce Brown. I like that move for them.
That's good, but I think the Cam Johnson trade was
The
really
Cam,
what really helps.
you ahead of me, Sneak.
Oh, go ahead. Go
Ahead of
ahead.
me.
Go
I
ahead.
was, I was, I, you know, You got to have a main event when you. That's gonna be the main event.
Go ahead, coach. Deliver, bro. Go ahead. Go ahead.
That to me, that's an upgrade for them for Michael Porter Jr. So he's gonna do a lot of damage, and they can realistically rest this thing crawling over my screen. They can rest Jokic and not have a drop off.
Or at least it won't be like a 12-point deficit when he gets back into the game, kind of deal.
Yeah, if he goes to the bench and they're up 8-9, he's not going to come back in the game and they're down 12.
Down by 4, yeah.
I think Cam Johnson can hold the fort down while Luka's Luka. Wow, he must be talking about me. He can hold the fort down until Jokic comes back in. I think Cam Johnson has that capability over Michael Porter Jr.
More reliable. Is he a better defender, do you think?
I think they're both about the same.
Okay, but it's the offensive reliability, right?
I think they brought Cam in for more offensive reliability, like you said. Especially when Jokic gets a breather. That's why they were hoping that Westbrook could do for them last year, which kind of didn't pan out.
Yeah.
And there's rumors that him going to Sacramento. I haven't heard that he's signed yet. I think that's one of those end of the road contracts. But I think I like that Cam Johnson's signing for Denver. He's gonna have a breakout season because of it, because he's gonna get the opportunities.
He's gonna be open.
The key word, opportunities. He's gonna
be open. He's gonna get tons of minutes. He's gonna have to carry that. Like you said, there's gonna be stretches where Joker is gonna sit for 3, 4, 5 minutes, and he'll get his opportunity. Because like in Brooklyn, it was Brooklyn, right? He played for the Nets. Yeah. Man, it's like a dead end over there.
They weren't going anywhere, and he was just out there just hooping. Here you have a team with a purpose.
Yeah,
and he has and then he'll have a set role with that team for their purpose. So he's gonna give them what they were hoping to get out of Michael Porter Jr. And
how about this one, Coach? How about the regular season MVP odds? I got Joker plus 225, SGA plus 240, so they're really close. It's going to be another one of those.
Probably one of those dog fights with them. And
then you got Luka at plus 500.
That's
like this is a sentiment that I'm hearing across a lot of platforms. People talking to hoops are saying you look at Luka's fitness, the conditioning, him taking his career seriously, it appears that could be the driving factor, because bro, a lot of people been calling him fat. You don't think he's gonna take that personally?
Well, yeah, he's always been out of shape since his whole career. So this is, like I said, this is the first time we've seen him. So yeah, they're giving him.
Was it as loud though? Like, to me, I feel like it's been loudest in LA. It wasn't this loud in Dallas.
Yeah, it's because it's in LA. LA fans don't care. They don't love Luka like they did in Dallas.
Well, in LA, bro, you basically have to eat 3 leaves of lettuce, and that's your lunch. You know what I'm saying? That's how the people get down in LA.
I'm talking about them grass eaters out there.
Bro, you know what I'm talking about? Avocado toast with the basil go down there.
Walking around with their dogs and their purses with those little green grass drinks.
See, bro, what we do in the Midwest, bro, we grill some corn, bro. We grill some steaks. We put some mashed taters on there, bro. That's what we do.
Man, I love the South, man. They know how to eat. They know how to eat and stay in shape down south, man.
You got to work, bro. That's all it is. You got to work. Yeah.
You don't see too many out of shape people in the South.
Yeah, it's all relative. So like for Luka, I mean, I'm looking at people name. No, I don't want to discredit Victor Wembanyama, but I think his odds of winning an MVP, I think it's a little early.
Too early.
I think Giannis is worthy of being in the conversation, but he just doesn't have the team success that these other guys have, right? So it's hard to like put him past a Joker, put him past an SGA. Joker averages a triple-double. SGA averages like triple-double type numbers. You're seeing that guy rip off 35, 40 points a night. Easy. That's like what Luka does, but his team's winning, right? Like, yeah, it's going to be tough for anybody not named Joker or SGA to win it.
It depends on how successful the Nuggets.
Like if the Lakers finish like how they did this year, second, third, fourth, like yeah, Luka will have he'll be in the conversation for an MVP. Because in order for them to finish like that, he's going to have to be otherworldly.
Yeah. As far as I think it's early for you, like you said. I'm just gonna break down these five here, and I think it's early for Victor, but I think he has MVP. He's an MVP caliber player. Yeah, yes, but it's a little bit early. I think he's going to get to that point because he has shown that if he sets his mind to something to achieve, he's going to achieve it. Like he was going to before he went down with the blood clots, he was going to win Defensive Player of the Year
Yeah.
by a landslide.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say a landslide because he had
No.
Tyson Daniels.
Mobley is a good player. Mobley's a good player. He deserved it, but only because of the disqualifier of the games played.
And I think it was Dyson Daniels.
Great defender. Great.
Who was
defender.
leading the league in steals last. I think he had some competition, and Evan Mobley's a stud, man.
Yeah.
He doesn't get as much credit that he deserves. That kid's a stud over there.
He's coming along just fine. I think he's going to be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as far as these five, well, you got Anthony Edwards there. I didn't see him at first, but yeah, Giannis. For them to be successful, he has to play like he has to play out of his mind just to give them a chance.
Like 40 a game, 8-9 rebounds, 8-9 assists. Like it's got to be like that. Couple of steals, couple of blocks.
And he's not going to he's going to be able to maintain that high level for the season. I don't know.
What is he like 30, 31? How old is he?
I'll look it
I'll
up.
check it out. I'm just curious, Giannis.
I think he's 28, 29 or 30 in that range.
He averaged 30 and a half last year, 12 rebounds, 6.5 assists on 60% from the field. And he wasn't even close to winning MVP.
60% is insane.
And he's technically not a center, right? So like it's not like he's getting all his touches in the paint only. He has to work his way into the paint,
And his mid-range game is getting better. His free
throws. He's 30. He's 30 years old. His
mid-range game is getting better. His free throws are getting
better.
He has
improved. Yeah, he's gotten more reliable in his shooting. Absolutely.
Yeah, he's getting more reliable. He done what Shaq didn't refuse to do is get serviceable in his flawed areas. So they can't do a hack a Shaq with Giannis because
Giannis, he's clearly showing a propensity to work. In the offseason, working on his game. I know he's playing hoops right now, all summer. So he's working on his game for sure.
He's motivated.
Yeah,
I think the worst thing they did was get his security blanket out of there.
Middleton.
And brought in
I think they're right about Middleton though, Coach. I think he's fading a little bit. I don't think he's holding up well with the injuries.
Well, they were putting him to make an all-star, and to make an all-star, and then have that kind of production after it is what hurt him. Because when you make an all-star game, when you become an all-star, and you're supposed to be Giannis's number 2, you can't have that type of production. You have to increase it, and he does it in spurts. It's like he'll play like an all-star for like a 2 weeks, and then he'll drop down for like 3.
Yeah,
that was one.
But that's what separates the great players from the good players.
Yeah,
people think like the great players are the ones that play good in the finals and play well in the Eastern Conference, Western Conference finals. Yeah, but usually the great players are the guys that could do it almost every single night. They're consistent. Like they only have a clunker occasionally because they're that damn good. Middleton was never that.
But you notice that every superstar that has won a chip, besides a couple, I ain't gonna say their names. You already know who they are. Had that other guy on their roster that held down the fort for them, where they don't have to do everything.
Well, that other guy is very typically a reliable scorer, not a prolific scorer. They don't have to average 40 a game.
No, they just
they just have to be reliable. You
and they
know.
do other things. Like I'll give you an example. When the Lakers were after the Shaq, the Lakers were at the bottom. Roster wasn't good, and then Lamar Odom started emerging, and Karan Butler started, giving Kobe, 17 a night, and Lamar was that triple double on the edge guy. So the Lakers' trajectory started going up.
Hmm.
So when they started making the playoffs on a consistent basis, so that what triggered the Lakers to go and get him. All right, we have a chance to win a championship. Bynum is starting to emerge. As a young center. Let's go.
Hmm.
So that's what triggered them to go get Paul Gasol.
Yeah,
They
they like the way that things were going.
they like the way things were going. Like, okay, we have a chance here now. So they went and got Paul Gasol, and they went to three straight. I give you another example with SGA with the OKC. They were on the, they were, they emerged. Okay, SGA, that's our star. But J Dub stepped up and became that what what Gasol did for Kobe, he did for SGA. So because you had that, it took the pressure off of other guys like Chet Holmgren, who can just okay, I can be a rim protector. Hardenstein played well above his contract. He don't get enough credit either
He's a hell of a role player. He really
because
does his thing.
he
Yeah.
did a hell of a job with his role, and especially when Chet went down, they didn't miss a beat.
Certain matchups,
Really,
yeah, Hartenstein was the move. Yeah. Yeah.
those are the things that you need on a championship. Lakers don't have that right now. Outside of that's what the problem with the Lakers. They don't have that consistency. Like Gasol will give you will give Kobe 17, 18, 19 tonight, but then he'll also give you 8, 9, 10 rebounds, 1.5, 2 blocks a night. You got Bynum doing the same thing. He'll give you 10, 11 boards, um, controlling the paint. Lakers don't have that. That's their situation. So they have to address those issues around. If they're putting all the hats in the Luka, fine, but you have to plug in those issues, and your star is not a known defender. Kobe was, uh, SGA is. That's another big difference out of those guys. Those I'm talking about guards and small forwards, and perimeter guys that lead their team to championships. Those guys, they play like Dwayne Wade. They play on the defensive end too. Luca doesn't do that. If he
But
can
that
improve
means you
that,
got to get guys that can
it's
do it
hard.
elite.
It's
You know.
harder. It's
Yeah.
harder because you're asking other guys to overcompensate for their star, and
But
you
Luca could be better this year because I mean, if you're heavy and not conditioned, your defense will be exposed. And I mean, it really was, coach. It really was last year. He looked worse than usual.
yeah, he couldn't guard a parked car, but we'll see. We'll get the first look at him next in the preseason starts in beginning of
September,
October.
the
So
beginning of October.
end
Yeah.
of September start out. We'll
Yeah.
see how that's going to be all eyes is going to be on that first preseason game.
I'm good with people saying this guy could be an MVP candidate. I mean, the ability's there. That's not the issue. It's just going to be ready to play, stay healthy, lead and carry this team, and make them a competitor. Look, I don't have high hopes for them winning a chip. I'm just saying compete for it, and you earn the respect of your peers, the fans, the Laker lore. Like you do it for all those reasons.
Yeah, and you got to be on that trajectory.
Yeah,
They're putting him in. Like I said, this plus 50 is just respect for him.
got you.
And the fact that he came coming in slim down. They're expecting like because of the numbers that he put up out of shape, they figure that he's gonna. I think the number is gonna be the same, but it's gonna be like you said the eye test. What you
Yeah,
what you see the little things like when slimming down, can he move faster laterally side to
yeah,
side?
yeah.
Can he get into that pass, disrupt that passing lane? and get back on and get back out on his man to close out on that 3-point shot.
Yes, sir.
Those are the little things that will make a difference that he couldn't do last year, because of number one, the calf strain, and two, the weight. Um, and
And the weight probably contributed to the calf strain.
and two, they got to move on from Austin Reeves. I'm sorry, they got to. He
He
they got to
has people say he has value. I think they just got to pull the trigger.
they just got to pull the trigger. You got to move on. You're not going to win the championship with Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic on the same roster. You're not. They're
Too much.
too much similar player. With
Yeah.
this, one thing I mean is I'm not saying Austin Reeves is Luka Doncic, not by a long shot.
Yeah, but I think
What
you
I'm saying
acknowledge
is
that they
it's
are
both the same.
limited in the same ways, right?
Yeah, they're limited
Yeah.
in the same ways. So you're gonna have to move in and bring in a stud doesn't have to that doesn't have to come in and average 25 a night. I mean, that'll be good, but get a guy that's that's just going to plug that holes that he's not doing on the defensive end, while getting you 10, 11, 12 on the offensive end, like a KCP
Mm-hmm.
type player that can, that will be better for the Lakers than Austin Reeves. In my and that's not an opinion, that's a fact.
All right, coach. Is it cool if I get onto this next topic? Maybe we bring you on for that last one.
Man, I just love talking sports with you,
Man, I'm with it, bro. Let me jump onto this next one, and then we'll see if we bring you back, because I have a feeling you're gonna have opinion on this one.
All right, I
All
appreciate
right,
you,
Coach
man.
C.
I appreciate
Always. Thank you, bro. All right, let's quickly pivot to this one, because I really wanted to get to it, because this one is really it's like a monster that has gotten out of control. All right, so with this last topic, I don't even know if I really want to call this a rant. I will say that I'm a little frustrated. I have been making all types of videos on this channel. I have been doing film breakdowns. I have been doing film studies. I've been, finding audio clips of former players, all-time great players, and, some of the conversations and interviews they've had about other players, about their eras, like guys they had to defend, guys that they played against and competed with, to give people insight on some of the things that I feel are overlooked from certain players. So, for example, I did the Tayshaun Prince video when he was talking about the difference between LeBron and Kobe in respect to how he had to defend them and how it was different. And, he talked about all the screens that LeBron was getting from his teammates, and he talked about Kobe getting to spots. And I think back to when I watched those games, and even when I watched the film today, and so many of those things are true. They actually happen. So it kind of confirms a lot of the same things you see, but it gives you additional insight from the guys who actually played. And oftentimes they give guys flowers, right? They tell them whether with us or not with us, they've moved on and passed on. You get to see the respect, because these guys played in the league for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. They were champions. They were all-stars. They were all NBA caliber. They competed fiercely. They put it all out on the line in the biggest moments. And I think as sports fans, we respect that about them, right? And this is one of the series that I did, is LeBron carrying bums to the finals, addressing that directly, just showing people how LeBron's teammates were very good players. And namely, looking at kind of like his first stint in Cleveland, there's the sentiment that LeBron carried bums to the finals in 07. But if you watch the games and you look at the productivity from the players and you see the scores and you kind of watch everything and you consider all the elements, LeBron's teammates were not bums. Bums don't go to the NBA finals. If bums go to the NBA finals, then we're doing this wrong. You know what I mean? So I specifically make those kind of videos and I make these kind of contents. I'm trying to squash the misconceptions. Whether I'm successful in my efforts, I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever convince anyone that the things that they may have said previously, believed previously, some of them could be wrong, or some of them could be overstated or exaggerated. I personally believe that the whole concept of LeBron carrying bums to the finals is made up and conjured up by people who were apologizing for his losses. But the Cavs lost, And yes, LeBron was a team member on the team. The Cavs succeeded together and they lost together. And it's true. LeBron didn't play well in the '07 finals. Not that the Cavs played great, but they were in a couple of those games and they weren't able to get a win. They got swept. And when I evaluate certain players, I can honestly say Big Z did a hell of a job defending Tim Duncan. But nobody wants to discuss that. Nobody wants to talk about the little things. Nobody wants to have nuanced discussions about the supporting cast because the outcome was a sweep. They'll just say the Cavs were bums. LeBron carried bums to the finals. Game 5 against the Pistons. Well, what happened in Game 6 against the Pistons? And what happened in the 4 games of the finals? Why does the conversation just stop at LeBron carried bums when those guys were good players, elite team defense that got them to the finals and were in close games in 2 out of those 4 games in the sweep with a chance to win? And the truth was that LeBron didn't play well. Not that the Cavs played great, but they were in 2 of those games. It would have been nice if he would have took 1 or 2 of those, forced the Game 5, forced the Game 6 as part of his basketball evolution in that point of his career. And then in '08 against the Celtics, which I'm going to do a video on that too. I've already published it, edited it. I'm going to upload it. There were 7 games in that '08 Eastern Conference semifinal against the Celtics. LeBron played good in 2 out of 7 games, objectively speaking. But they'll tell you things like his teammates sucked. How is it possible that the team sucked when they took the eventual NBA Finals champions of '08? They took them 7 games. And LeBron objectively played well in 2 games. So that means 5 games he didn't play well. And the Cavs still won some of those games and were in those games. Teams win. Players need to play their roles. Players need to produce. They win together, they lose together. But we don't have to shit on players in order to promote other ones. So my objectivity attempt is to analyze these games and these players and how they play. But now you can't do that. Everybody wants to put you into a box. You have to either be a hater or a glazer. It's no longer about the game. It's no longer about hoops. It's no longer about evaluating and player critique of the play. It's a hater. You're a hater if you don't say glowing things about a player all the time. My first question whenever I'm trying to figure out if somebody is really a sports fan, a basketball fan, an NFL fan, who are your favorite players? Why are they your favorite players? What were their best seasons? What makes a great player? Ask those kind of questions, right? And the reason why I'm saying this is pretty simple. And it's actually not even just a LeBron thing, right? It's not just a LeBron thing. Kobe fans do it, the Fanatics. MJ fans do it a lot. It's the same thing across any fanatic base. They will call you a hater if you are not glazing their guy. You are a hater. And shout out to Bruce, the Format Podcast. He talks about this all the time. Why is someone a hater? Because they can critique a player's play. Why is someone a bum? Because they're not making all-star teams or going into the Hall of Fame. Like, why do we do this? Why do things have to be so extreme? I think what it boils down to is the fanatic element to all of this. You want so badly to try to cook people and disrespect them and call them out of their name. It creates toxicity. Some people just want to talk hoops, and they don't even, they want you to spare them the narratives, but they don't want to sit there and argue. They would rather discuss. I'd rather have a conversation with someone than a debate. I would rather have a conversation and a dialogue where I'm learning something, understanding a perspective, as opposed to feeling defensive or them feeling defensive because they feel like I'm attacking their position. What kind of interaction is that? That's what happens when you have people that claim that everybody is a hater when they don't like their guy. And there's obviously a psychology to it. Oh, you don't like my guy? There's something wrong with you. Or how could you? You're bad. Well, who's to say I don't like your guy? I mean, I can critique a player and I can celebrate a player all in the same conversation. I literally made a video about LeBron James' defense in 2009 was so elite, pure raw athleticism mixed with high basketball IQ, anticipation, playing passive lanes, active hands, strips, steals, blocks, chase downs, effort, a coach's dream. But then I can't make a video where I'm critiquing his lack of defensive effort last season. I can't critique the fact that LeBron was rewarded or awarded an All-NBA second team based on 2 months of the season where he played elite level basketball. January and February, he was amazing. But do you deserve an All-NBA second team based on 2 great months? I really do feel like truly sincere when I say he belonged on the third team. There were guys on the third team, in my opinion, deserved the second team opportunity, but they didn't get it. Because LeBron was there, and Steph too. I say the same thing about Steph. As soon as Jimmy got there, Steph was all NBA. But before that, did he really belong on the second team? I feel like these guys are men out of time. I feel like those other guys could have been more deserving. At least considerations in the conversations we have as fans. But like, I'm not a Cade Cunningham guy. I don't even know what that means. I think Cade Cunningham is an underrated player. I think he's very good. You know, I can acknowledge that Karl Anthony Towns is one of the most unique and special offensive talents I've seen at that position. But I can also acknowledge that his defense is weak. He seems out of position. He fouls a lot. It leads to a lot of free throws. I'm not even trying to make it super technical. I'm just being an objective viewer of the game. I'm analyzing it. But why does everybody have to be a hater because they don't like your guy? Or not even they don't like your guy. They don't like your guy like you like your guy. You may have like a man crush. In this case, it could be like a LeBron lover versus a LeBron hater. Or an MJ lover or an MJ hater. There are people that hate Michael Jordan. There are people that adore Michael Jordan. The large majority of people gush over Michael Jordan. I don't. I can acknowledge he was a great player, but I don't get on the bandwagon of, oh, this guy has to be promoted as the best player of all time. I don't have to do that. Why do I have to do that? You're doing it. I want to be on the other side. I want to offer some kind of resistance. I would rather play the devil's advocate. You say LeBron's the greatest player of all time. Good for you. I don't agree. Just for the sake of conversation. Just for the sake of making videos where I can show you that he's not perfect because people tell me he's perfect. They say there are no flaws. They're crazy. There's no such thing as a player without flaws. Players make mistakes all the time. They're imperfect. They're always trying to, refine their game and all that. Yeah, sure, Micah. I'll be the heel. Absolutely. The universe needs balance. We don't need a 24/7 suckfest. And look, there are people who cater to the LeBron love, and there's people that cater to the LeBron hate. I will gladly accept both of those people. But why, if someone is simply critiquing and highlighting something that maybe isn't flattering, why does that make that person a hater? Hey, look, Micah, that's what it is, though. That's what it's. They're like echo chambers. That's what it is. The glaze, bro. I'm just saying, anybody who wants to critique players, as long as they have a foundation that is shrouded in something that is factual, like it can be proven, it can be supported, explained, and has some credence, that should stand. And if it could be falsified, if it could be disproven, well, then good. Now you can have that conversation and make that progress. But you're not a hater because you critique a player, or you're not a hater because he's not your favorite or he's not in your top 10. I'm actually getting sick of these lists because they're unproductive. They just lead to aimless arguments in circles, people going around like it's NASCAR. You know, he turns left, he turns left, like whatever. This can be done with Kobe. This could be done with LeBron. This could be done with Jordan. This could be done with Kareem. It's the same thing. It's just, and obviously, most relevant, it's like LeBron and MJ and Kobe. That's like this whole thing because I don't know, people are digging in on their positions. But I'm telling you guys, just because someone doesn't love your guy the way you love your guy doesn't make them a hater and doesn't make them a casual and doesn't mean you need to disrespect them and I'm going to cook you on this and all this stupid this verbiage. It's like children. And it's look, some people build their identities around their players, as crazy as it sounds. The link is in the chat for anybody who wants to chime in. There are people who literally build their personal identity around a player who they don't know and they never met, and that player doesn't even know that they exist. And that's sad. So really what we should be hating is not the player. We should be hating the obsession, calling someone a hater because they don't love your guy the way you love your guy, which in and of itself, Micah, that is a pause. You know, you got the knights in shining armor coming through and swords and everything, ready to just wipe out the whole field, the whole battlefield, going to war over these conversations, literally just conversations, you know? And I'm telling you, I've seen it from the LeBron camp. I've seen it from, the Kobe camp. I've seen it from the MJ camp. Those are the most recent conversations, but I see it from all of them. And if you don't love their guy the way they love their guy, you are a hater. And I think that's probably the least objective thing you could do. And it probably disqualifies you from any legitimate conversations about greatness. What up, coach?
What up? I know you're gonna have a lot of people calls on this, so I ain't gonna take up too much time on this last one. You're s- you're spot on, man. Because I only reason why I'm on IG because of the pod. So I see I'm been all day blocking LeBron pages, man, because it's like the stuff that they post is ridiculous. It's like you see this all day. They'll cherry pick one bad highlight um from a situation on Jordan or on Kobe or on somebody else, and then they'll just be like, "Oh, you guys talking about he's clutch?" And they're showing a video of the '95 playoff series when I think it was Nick Anderson stole the ball from Jordan from behind, and you know, and it went down, and clinched the series on the next play. Oh, he's talking about he's supposed to be clutch. I'm like, and then and they call themselves getting back at Jordan fans, but they started it when the GOAT debate happened. LeBron fans started trashing Jordan, and everybody was like, "Oh no, we're not gonna have that." And then that's when everybody started pointing out all the flaws in LeBron's game, tearing them apart, and then they're trying to get their get back. It was like, okay, but they don't be realistic with it. Like with me, I be realistic. Like I had one guy going back and forth, and I said, you know what? I don't know. I don't normally entertain this, but I'm gonna give it a shot. I want to hear what you have to say. And it was just nothing but it was just nothing but nonsense. It was just nothing but nonsense. See, so what I usually do, I don't know how you handle it, but this is how I handle it. I'll listen to the nonsense they throw at me. I acknowledge it, just like I do in sales. I acknowledge it, and I throw my rebuttal.
Hmm.
So they're like, oh, okay, yeah, the last three Pete, man, he played with two Hall of Famers. I'm like, okay, I acknowledge it. Yes, Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman were Hall of Famers. Um, but at the same token, when he was there. Yes, he was an outstanding rebound out there, but he was 35, and the last 2 seasons, Pippen had a bad back, and yet they still won. How is that? Is that not an accomplishment or not? And they don't. And then this is when you know you're dealing with a fanatic. I know you deal with this. They don't answer a yes or no question. They don't. They throw circles around it. That's when you want to know is that they just want you to agree to their point and say that they're right, and then they get upset because you don't get upset. And then I go, what is? And I also told him I was like, since you're throwing out Hall of Famers, do you realize that in the 4 years that LeBron played in Miami, he had played with 4 Hall of Famers. Since you want to throw that two out there, he played with four, and they went 2-2. Don't forget, Chris Bosh, D Wade, Gary Payton, and Ray Allen are all in the Hall of Fame. And not Gary Payton. No, I got that mixed up with
Dwayne Wade, Chris
I got
Bosh,
mixed up with
Ray Allen.
the other Miami Heat.
Oh yeah, that's the one generation before.
Yeah, that was the generation before.
D Wade, Shaquille O'Neal.
But
Yeah.
see, he didn't even know that. He was just like, "Oh, it don't matter." I was like, "What? 3-0 was better than 2-2, though." It's like you can make your point without bashing, without bashing a player, and then that's just a problem. A lot of people they don't know how to make their points without bashing bashing the players, and I think that's the biggest issue that's going on with these.
But is anybody saying LeBron's not a great player?
They don't want to hear it, but nobody know we're not. But they
But
don't wanna hear it.
I don't really hear people saying he's not great. So people are getting
Jordan
mad that,
fans are saying that he's not great.
which is irrational. LeBron is clearly one of the best players that have ever played the game of the round ball.
But the reason, I don't might be any excuses for them. I can't speak for them, but I'm just saying from what I observe, the reason being is because they're retaliating. They're retaliating because of the inconsistencies of what they're saying about Jordan to trying to knock him to make LeBron better. And I give the 1-9 playoff series from his first four seasons. That is a huge thing that they like to throw out there to try to diminish him. But you ask them this question. Yes, I get that. Number one, how many of those playoff series did MJ have a meltdown in any of those series where you can dissect it and say the reason why they lost this game or this series was because Jordan did this. He didn't do this.
Okay, so if we acknowledge that LeBron had a meltdown and that could be factually proven, why would that make someone a hater if they stated it?
It doesn't, but you talking about from their point of view?
Well, that's what they're saying, right? The position is if you are not loving their guy the way they love their guy, so if you say something that's not glorifying him, you say something that could be viewed negatively but is true. Like let's say you point to 07 and you say, well, LeBron shot very poorly. He shot 33% from the free throw line in game 4. They ended up getting swept. They lost by 1 point. And he had, 8 turnovers or whatever. Like those are facts. Like that thing happened, right? And in a margin of 1 point, that game was close. And that would have prevented a sweep, right? So you could say, well, LeBron was young and he was this still developing player, but like he got a game against the Hall of Fame Spurs, right? Like he could say that. That would have been some kind of an accomplishment. But he played poorly, and that's fact. They would call me a hater. But then if I say things like in 2016, 17, 18, LeBron was in his peak powers, I haven't seen many offensive players as good as that form of LeBron. They're not going to acknowledge me as a LeBron lover. They're going to call me a LeBron hater because I said that one thing about game 4 in the 07 finals.
Mm-hmm.
Or I say something like, I put a title on a YouTube video that the pressure is on LeBron to perform this year because he took the $52.6 million contract. And like, that's a fact. He took the money and hindered their ability to make roster moves. How is the pressure not on him? Why should he be, without pressure and expectations? Why does that make me a hater?
It, it doesn't. But you got to understand what you're dealing with there. These people um are not in the right mind um when it comes to LeBron James. And I'm not gonna say the MJ fans are crazy. They're retaliating on the nonsense that they're saying.
Now, this is the
And
most recent coach. I get it from the Jordan fans too. They ask me who my favorite player of all time is. I don't say Jordan. They go crazy. They're like, "What?" It's like you're speaking a foreign language. They're like, "How could you pick someone other than him?" They go, "Oh, you're a LeBron guy." I'm like, "No, I'm not an any guy." I just don't think that I think personally, in my opinion, I think Michael Jordan was a media machine. I do. I think part of his aura was created by the media, which made him this untouchable god. He was a great player, but I think the same things that LeBron's doing now was the same things they were doing for MJ. But they
yeah,
don't want to have that nuanced conversation. It's too complicated. They just want to call you a hater. It's easier.
yeah. But the difference is the difference in the two the two players is one was able to back up what they were saying and putting behind him even before he even won a championship. You know, he was backing up their claims. Well, the other who was knowing damn who was called the chosen one wasn't wasn't backing it up to that extent of being the chosen one. If you get what I'm saying,
I do.
like you had great regular seasons, but when it came down to it, you you weren't that superhuman chosen one that they put behind you. And then if and then it the immaturity and all that kicked in. That's not being a hater. That's a fact. And it's just that back then we weren't paying attention to the injuries and excuses back then because, you know, it wasn't like he was still new. We didn't see all that. We saw all that later down the road. And the reason why it started being pointed out because, like you said, the Jordan supporters brought that to our attention. We didn't. Did you acknowledge any of those, like what they were saying back even in his first Cleveland days? They said that he was using making those excuses and faking injuries when he lost. I didn't pay attention to that.
I mean, all we care about is outcomes at the end of the day.
Right. We were just saying we gave him a pass. Like we gave him a pass in '07. We were like, oh, he was a young guy, he came up against that veteran Spurs team. He wasn't expected to win. That was the outcome we expected.
Yeah, but you don't have to call those guys bums that were with you with the league's best defense, holding Tim Duncan to all of his below his averages. Hey, coach, is it cool if I just put you in the background for a minute so I can get Micah in here? I'm going to bring you back in as soon as Micah's done.
It's your show. It's your
All
show,
right, I
bro.
got you. Hang out for a second. Let me bring in Micah real quick. Micah, what up?
Oh man, what's going on, man? I was gonna
What's up, brother?
y'all could have finished.
No. I'm gonna bring Coach in back in a minute. I wanted to give you your time to shine, bro. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, you know what? I missed some of the or a lot of the conversation because I was kind of tending to family for a little bit, but I think what you're talking about right now, okay, I can see it floating across the screen. If you aren't glazing, you're a hater. When I was younger, of course, and I'm a Laker fan. Grew up loving Kobe, you know what I'm saying? I appreciate everything he did, all the good and the bad. I would do my best if anybody came for Kobe to defend him. At one point it seemed like I was more of a Kobe fan than a Laker fan.
Mm.
And I just appreciate all the good and the bad that came with him. The same can be said for maybe some other players or some supporting players, right? But overall, as I got older, I just said, you know what? I'm not a Kobe fan. I'm not a Gasol fan. I'm a Laker fan. And I tried to take that same approach with LeBron, but it's really hard. In the beginning, when he came, when we first heard of the trade, it was like, okay, cool. Um,
Great
we got to
player.
start.
Team.
Yeah, we got to
Right.
start again. And we already heard some of the stuff that comes with him as far as the drama. But he's on the Lakers. I'm thinking the Lakers is going to be bigger than the LeBron brand, and we'll deal with some things, but we'll be all right. But as time went on, we just kind of started clashing with the brand, started clashing with Clutch, and he won that ring, so that gave him a whole lot of leeway as far as what he wanted to do. Now, if anybody were to look at my comments, you can easily go on my profile and see whatever I liked or commented or whatever. Some stuff may look like, LeBron hate. And sometimes when I see drama or whatever, it probably will sound like hating in that moment, but I really don't hate the guy. I do appreciate him. And that goes for other players too. Man, when I was coming up, I used to hate Tim Duncan and the Spurs. I
Of
thought they were
course.
like the
He was the
biggest
biggest
threats,
resistance. Of course. Yeah,
the
absolutely.
biggest threats. And they were
They were.
year in, year out. They
Yeah.
were the biggest threats
Kobe
coming
said
out of the
that. He
West.
said the Spurs were a pain in his ass.
Yes, because they
Yeah.
were so good and they
Yeah.
were just really, really trained really well. The Nuggets for a short stint of time, they were good with Melo and them. The
Mhm.
Rockets, they have some really good defenders. Like I said on one of your streams a long time ago, we are talking about certain players. I forgot what your segment was, talking about like Luis Scola. He used to irritate me. He used to irritate the fire out of me going up against him.
Luis
But
Scola, that was
yeah,
Yao and those guys. Yep. Ray for
yeah,
Alston. Yeah.
all them cats. And again, I appreciate Kobe and I appreciate everybody else that just did what they had to do to try to win. And that's all it's about. It's about winning. And LeBron has won, you know what I'm saying? And, there may be some asterisks, like, people bring up the whole bubble. Now they're saying like, people around the league are saying the 2020 ring has an asterisk on it. Yeah, who cares?
That doesn't
Dude,
surprise me. I mean, that sounds realistic. There's people that would say that. Absolutely.
yeah, and that's fine, but I know some of that comes with LeBron hate and that
Mhm.
comes with Laker hate. That's
Mhm.
absolutely fine because you're not going to put an asterisk on your own team if your
Mhm.
own team won it.
Unless
And
you're
if
Sean.
you
He'll
do,
do it. Sean will do it.
but yeah, unless you're Sean, yeah, Sean do that, man. Shout out to Sean. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Sean,
But
my guy. Keeping it real.
you said it. If you aren't glazing, you're hating, and that doesn't go with LeBron. That can go with any player. There's a lot of hate that a lot of people say if you're not, if you don't agree with Joker, then you're hating on him. Like if you don't agree with his play style, if you don't agree with how he does things. And I think Joker's a fantastic player. I think you said on one of your lives that his defense gets criticized a little bit more than it should, if I'm correct.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not saying he's like a great defender, don't get me wrong, but he's not terrible.
Mhm.
I don't think he's terrible. I think he can get the job done,
Well, it's one of those
especially in
things. It's one of those things where the narrative is overstated. Like they're
yeah,
trying to devalue him. They say things that aren't necessarily accurate. Now that's the
yes,
problem. That's really a problem because you're mischaracterizing the player. There's
yes,
game-saving blocks in the playoffs, in their finals
yes,
run, in the bubble. You check the last 5, 6 seasons. This guy is making game-saving defensive efforts. So he can't
yes.
be a bad defender. You cannot be.
Same thing with Curry. I never thought Curry was terrible.
So he's not a great defender. So what? It doesn't mean he's
Yeah.
bad because he's not great. There's different intermediates
And they also said the same thing about Kyrie, and I think that was really overblown because I think Kyrie has pretty decent defense.
because he's a smart player. But they don't want to have
Yes,
that conversation because it's nuanced. They just want to say, Oh, he's not a good defender. Why? Because he doesn't average 3 steals a game? Because he doesn't make all NBA defense? That's an elite
Right.
group of guys. There's only 2 teams
Right.
a year.
Right.
So that means
And
what? The
so,
guy who's
yeah,
ranked 11 or 12 who's not on an all NBA defensive team, that makes him a bum?
exactly. So in this day and age, I understand that's the running thing. And you said it earlier in your live, people like to come on and try to cook people and say they know or don't know basketball, whatever. Look, I don't get anything for making somebody look bad. If I come online and somebody make me look bad, hey, you got your time, your 15 minutes of fame. But if anything, if it's true, I learned something. All right. You got something off me, but I still learned something if it's true. I think we got to get out of the habit of always needing to look our best and just take things for what we see. We don't always need to, like, we can give respect, but we also don't have to. I mean, you said it already. We don't have to glaze.
Mhm.
We don't have to adhere to your rules or to your quote unquote truth. You know, if you think
Well,
LeBron's the GOAT,
I don't even mind the glazing. I have a bigger problem with calling someone a hater because they're not glazing. See, like, if
if
I
you
don't
think
partake in the glaze, well, now that means I hate. I don't see why are those things have to be like that. Why are they correlated?
right, I
Yeah.
mean, you got the entire league, or let's just say Bleacher Report hating on Kobe because he's ranked 11th. Now, I
No,
mean, if that's
truth
really
truth be told, like, Kobe being ranked in a top 100 list and him being at 11, there's nothing wrong with 11. But if you think about the trajectory of Kobe's ranking, you know that there's a bunch of riffraff.
yeah,
It's the process that got us here that people have a problem with. Like, you have
yeah,
people that are, like, saying, like, "Oh, you're either a Kobe guy or a this guy." Therein lies the problem. I don't wanna be one of those. I don't wanna be in a box, Micah. I wanna retain my independence. I don't want to be any, like, look, bro, I try to you said I'm gonna play the heel, right? So here's what I wanna do moving forward.
do it.
I am here to crush misconceptions. I am here to get someone to think about the things that they're saying to other
Mhm.
people that could be wrong or could be misrepresented or could be exaggerated, right? So I show, like, did you see my most recent video upload about LeBron's defense from 2009?
I don't know if I saw that one. You did put up a video or two today before your live. I saw one of them.
I did a 13-minute analysis of LeBron's defense, play after play after play, analyzing his game and his abilities, his decision making, his IQ, his hands, like, swipes for steals, positioning, effort, diving, all these great things. But nobody's going to comment about that.
Is that the video where you were saying that LeBron is a little bit better at defending forwards,
Yes.
like people his size, opposed
Yes.
to maybe guards? Because of course, they're much quicker and they can get
It's
they can
just
get past
physics.
LeBron.
It's just
Yeah.
physics, right? Moving like it, and that makes me a hater to discuss physics. Dude, like Young Disciple shows up on the Format podcast. I'm over there. He calls me out of my name because I said LeBron doesn't defend small, shifty, quick guards well. How could he? He's
It's
plodding
hard
around at
for him.
52-60. How could he?
It's hard for him. And I've seen him guard Curry and do like a decent job, but he can't do that all game.
But to sit there and say, when someone says you can guard all 5 positions, that means you can guard a majority of the guys at those positions.
Right.
That's unrealistic. That never happened. There's nobody defending all 5. That's not a thing.
I don't know.
There's guys that defend guards really well. There's guys that defend forwards well. There's guys that defend bigs real well, like traditional positions. It depends on what guys do. Is what really dictates what you could do as a defender. If a guy is not a threat in dribbling, then you're pressing. You're not gonna, like, it's just the game. It's the way the game is played.
Exactly.
You know, Mike, I'm gonna bring in Coach T because He's got something to say. What up, Coach T?
No, you you didn't have to. I'm just putting that in the chat. Uh, what up, Micah?
What's going on, Coach? I saw your comment. You said something about D Rose.
Yeah, what's going on? They said that he. I remember that conversation from the Format podcast. He brought up D Rose that series against Chicago when Cleveland when they beat D Rose. I can't remember what year it was. When he had multiple chase down blocks on Derrick Rose in that series
Mm.
and did a serviceable job defending him on Derrick Rose, which I and Sneed commended LeBron on that effort in that series, but that doesn't mean that he can guard small guards.
It means for that series, he was able to defend Derrick Rose well.
He did a very great
Would
job
you
on
say
there.
some of that is psychological?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, that would be speculative. We don't know. I mean, did
think-
Derrick Rose ever
Yeah.
talk about it?
I think it was just it was a fact that year,
Derrick Rose won the MVP that year, right?
he won MVP and LeBron felt slighted. That he
Oh,
show
that
him-
year.
Got you. Okay.
He wanted to show him that I was the MVP. That's all it was.
I'm with it. I like that. I like that edge from LeBron. I think that's
I
the
like
type of
it,
stuff
yeah,
that
that's
drives
what you
players.
want.
Yeah, I like
As
that.
a basketball fan, you want to see that. Like show
Yeah.
them why you deserve to be MVP over the guy that won it.
But if I show them film on Jason Terry from 2011, now I'm a hater.
Because they don't like it.
It was he wasn't this matchup. That was his argument.
I got footage.
You know this matchup.
I got footage of LeBron chasing Jason Terry around the whole floor. What do you mean? They say that? Did they really say that?
There's footage out there of JJ Barea guarding LeBron in an isolation situation on the block.
But coach, I'm telling you, this is not unique. The same thing happens with the Jordan people. They won't acknowledge that outside of those 6 finals, there were games that Jordan lost. Like they're just like, nah, 6 finals wins, nothing else. I'm like, yo, my guy, he didn't play 6 seasons. There were other years where he didn't get the job done. The team wasn't
Everybody's
that
lost.
good. You know, there was that's the game. So you have irrational fans who put you in a box. You either glaze for life or you hate for life. That's the only thing you're allowed to be. Bro, nobody wants to talk about Isaiah Thomas. I'm not talking about the little guy who played for Boston. I'm talking about the little guy who beat up Boston. You see what I'm saying? But nobody wants to have that conversation because it's not part of the pop culture discussion about hoops. Nobody wants to talk about Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf because they don't know what he did or what he was capable of or what he did on the floor and how he was blackballed from the league.
Right.
They don't want to talk about the guys who paved the way for a player like Steph Curry to play the way that he does. They don't want to talk about Steph Curry's ankle injuries in the first half of his career. They don't want to talk about Steph getting benched by Mark Jackson. But if I say those things, I'm a Steph hater. They don't want to talk about when Steph threw his binky in the crowd in 2016 and got kicked out of that game. They don't want to talk about that. He's a perfect player, never missed a 3 in his life. He made 1,000 threes in a row.
They don't want to talk about how Steph Curry disappears in clutch moments. That his shooting percentage goes down in clutch moments.
But whose doesn't, right, Coach? But whose doesn't? See what I'm saying? Like they're not infallible.
But you can pull up the numbers. His goes down more than any star in.
But if we're speaking on facts, typically players, it's harder to make shots in high stakes situations. So that doesn't surprise me. I know players, right?
Not LeBron. He's an all-time leader in clutch points.
And if I don't agree with that, then that means I'm a hater.
You heard YD? He had the receipts. He went on Man Down Sports and but I love Man Down. I love Man Down's response. And he had no answer to it. He was like, "I will accept that if I knew what was your source. Where is your source?" And he kept saying it doesn't matter. I love this response,
bro. I don't mind. For example, YD. I don't mind that he loves LeBron, but don't be mad when someone else doesn't love him like you do.
No,
Bro, I'm
only
not that type of dude, bro. I'm married. I got children.
the only issue I have with the issue I have with him as a man
Mhm.
is we're talking sports. Like, don't try to bully me into your point or try to go gangster on me.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't even get into any of those things, but like
I feel you.
don't do that. And it's hard to debate him because you have to keep your composure with him because he will bait you into getting into a shout fest with him or to go chest to chest, and you'll forget about your whole argument.
Yeah.
bro, I don't even want to have those kinds of discussions or debates or arguments. That stuff doesn't move me. I don't get my jollies from arguing. I don't get jollies from proving someone wrong. I would much rather engage in the two-way discussion where I might learn something from you. You might teach me something or explain something to me I never thought of previously or didn't know. I can't do that if I'm yelling at you or if you're yelling at me. If you're yelling at me, I'm tuning you out. If I'm yelling at you, I'm not listening to you. Right? So
Right.
it's just a bad communication. But in the case like that, that's a case of someone who loves and adores LeBron. Anybody else would be a hater if they said otherwise or took a different view. I can't ride. I can't ride with that. Like that just won't. I'm not wired that way. I have to be able to say these weaknesses exist, and if you can't acknowledge that, well, you've lost credibility. I think he identified a weakness from LeBron as ball watching. That's not unique. Every player ball watches.
Oh yeah.
I wanted
Everybody
something
does.
unique to LeBron that he was weak. He couldn't produce it.
No,
That tells me there's no weakness in his perceptions. It's over. You can't get through. That's over. Ball watching is a cop out. Every player ball watches. I'll pull up film right now of Kobe Bean Bryant, who was like a 12-time All NBA defender, ball watching.
ball watching,
Everybody does. Everybody
That's
does it.
it's
walking
not
walking
unique.
walking around on the perimeter on defense. He did
Mhm.
that a lot, especially in his later last two
Of
seasons.
course, in the later, of
He did
course.
that all the time.
'Cause
Um,
yeah, so he wasn't able to produce that.
but you also have footage of him um, matching up on Allen, taking the challenge on Allen Iverson in the finals.
Yep.
In the
And
second
and
half,
Ray
in,
Allen.
in the second half of game two, when the Lakers were down and Allen Iverson was killing us, and in the second half he took that assignment and slowed him down. You have that footage too.
And then people say things about Kobe like they'll say like he's a shot chucker. There was a time where that was true. But there were phases in Kobe's career. So you can't characterize him as a shot chucker when he averaged 7.5 assists in the finals, the year they won it in '09. Or I
There you
think
go.
was
But
it
let me ask,
was it
but let me
9 or
ask
10?
you
One of
this.
those years he averaged 7.5 assists. How's that a shot chucker?
It was almost in every playoff series. He did that against the Spurs. He did that against Portland. He did that numerous times. But he's no. But when
And
they get
then
that
what
label,
about in the first finals runs, coach? Right? Where people want to act like Shaq wasn't the best player for the first one, but what started happening? They mischaracterize like if people act like, and this is the thing about Shaq, bro. Shaq was playing the wrong sport. Shaq needed to be doing something else. Like it was crazy, right? He was the most difficult player to officiate. You couldn't tell who was fouling who. It was like that. And I think sometimes that happened with LeBron too in his career. It was very difficult to officiate, and like Shaq, it was clear and obvious that Kobe was starting to become the better player by his like 20th birthday, 21st birthday. It was happening in front of you. You were seeing it happen. But there's people in denial saying like, "Oh, Kobe did Shaq dirty." Shaq didn't care as much as Kobe. So where were they going to go? They had already lost to the Pistons. Where were they going? They mischaracterized the Lakers. They mischaracterized that era. They mischaracterized Kobe. That's what people do. They mischaracterize. It's important to view the things that you may be getting wrong. Like, and like I told you guys about the LeBron video with the defense. People say he don't play defense. Well, he did at one point. I'm trying to crush these myths. I'm trying to
And he
crush
did
these
well.
false statements.
He had
But
he had a stretch of what 4 or 5 seasons
where
where he
he
Yeah,
was
made
like elite.
where he
he
played
Yes,
did
where
very
he
well.
made the all defensive
six, six,
all defensive team.
7, 8 years, all NBA defense, all like DPOY level. He was phenomenal. But then I can't talk about how he's sandbagging it on defense last year. That happened.
Oh
Or
no, he was
MJ.
the Lakers'
I
best
can't.
defender in
Can I?
in
Can I?
the Minnesota series.
Coach, can I not talk about how Michael Jordan was doing less in the second run of the finals? He was an older player. Of course he was doing less. I can't he was actually doing more when they weren't winning, right? If we're talking about like the 80s years, like when he was dropping 60 points and losing, when he was making like 4 or 5 steals and losing. They don't want to have these conversations. It's too complicated. It just crushes perceptions and false narratives. But
But
I'm a
what they
hater
also,
though.
but what they also won't do is this is narratives because what they also won't do is especially this is the most effective argument against the Robin argument when it comes to Kobe Bryant. All
Mhm.
right, tell me your definition of a Robin and
Robin is
their
a sidekick.
Yeah.
definition of a sidekick doesn't did not describe Kobe in those first three first 3 rounds. I mean
But
those
how would
first
you put it in
first
the points
Well, points is one part of the
or
game.
stats? Like if
Points,
Shaq is hitting 30, what does sidekick numbers look like?
if it was under 30, are you going to say it's a sidekick?
Under 30, no, it probably had to be under 20.
The only thing that Shaq was leading Kobe in was field goal percentage and rebounds
And
in
he
those
had to.
runs, and that's including his MVP season.
It would make sense if he didn't lead Kobe or whoever in
Those are only
field
two
goal
areas that
percentage.
Kobe was leading. Kobe was averaged more points per game. Obviously, the old one, if you the first one, Shaq had more,
Yeah.
points per game. That was Kobe's lowest points per game average in any finals that he has. That first one, but he led him in points per game, led him in assists, led him and he led him in field goal percentage, but he
And he
led
let
him
him in turnovers, right, coach?
in steals.
He let
Uh,
him in turnovers?
oh, Shaq.
Kobe.
Uh, I didn't pay
Kobe
attention.
might have. I know he was handling
Yeah,
the ball. You can check.
Of course. Like calling a spade, right?
but it wasn't to its extent of 4 and 5 a game.
I mean, he was probably averaging a few a game. 3, 3.5. I mean, that's what happens
At,
when guys
at least three.
gotta, handle the rock primarily as the facilitator or the shot
He
creator
had no
or
traditional point guard,
D
and that
Fish was there, but
he's not a traditional point guard. He was a
I'd
defender,
I'd
spot
say
up.
on defense he's a traditional point guard.
Yeah, He was a defender and spot up shooter.
Yeah.
He was there for the
Um,
kickouts from Shaq. That's that,
Mhm.
and he played his
oh,
role well.
Fisher.
Yeah,
D
D Fish.
Fish, yeah.
And he did his. Yeah,
He
you
was
just said it.
cold
He did
blooded
his
with
role
that
very
kick
well.
out, man. That he had that he was more deadly than Steph Curry on those repost kickouts.
Yeah.
You want to
Um,
have that conversation with the Steph Curry Glazers?
No.
Coach T, you want
But
to do that?
I ain't afraid of no smoke.
I mean, I'm a damn
On those
chimney
on,
too,
on
bro, but
those
I'm just saying, like,
on those kickouts, Fisher was more deadly than Steph Curry.
but here's what they're gonna say to you in response. They're gonna call you a casual. They're gonna say you're crazy. They're gonna call you a Steph hater because the world can't exist where D Fish was knocking down more important threes than Steph.
And I was like, and I'm gonna tell him you're damn right, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because on those kickouts,
mhm,
those threes that he hit were game changers that led to more championships than Steph Curry has. With Steph Curry doing the Steph Curry-ish things, and he wasn't even the leader on his team in efficiency, and wasn't a go-to guy.
which
Other
is
people,
crazy.
other people, um, Other people won those except for the last one. I'll give Steph the last one.
Yeah,
That
his 20
2022 ring.
2022 ring was
Two,
impressive.
two ring. I'll give that to Steph because he
That's
came
my
back.
favorite ring from him.
He came back with a chip on his shoulder. That's what a star player is supposed to do.
Yo, the
Yeah.
SGA championship ring is pretty special too. I got to give him his props, bro. SGA was amazing last year. That's one of the best seasons I've seen in a long time.
We haven't seen that in a long time. We haven't had a player play like that in a long time.
He did
Attack
his
the
thing.
basket, mid range game, post up, get to the free throw line. Um, that was 90s, early 2000s basketball. That's what the stars were doing.
Now, would y'all say SGA is Kobe-esque, or he's kind of his own thing right now?
No, he's his own man.
Well, he
That's
he
what I
does do
figured.
a couple of things similar. Like for
Yeah, they-
example, he gets like he looks for his spots, right? He gets to his spots pretty easily.
Mm,
Gets to them. He's got the
right,
pump fake game is pretty sharp. He makes his free
right.
throws at a high clip. He's a prolific scorer like he is. It doesn't look the same. It just he seems to have that same tendency to get to his spots. There's certain spots on the floor he likes to be, and the shots fall from those spots, like Kobe did.
Well,
You
let
know?
me. Is it okay, Sneed, if I answer Micah to tell him why I am not
Yeah.
going to why I'm not
Ooh,
saying
please
this.
do.
Reason why I'm saying that is because of based on the topic then of this
Hmm.
is the Kobe Bryant loyals will destroy SGA because you know no in their eyes no one's better than Kobe Bryant, no one, and they're you can't compare someone's whole career off of someone who's just getting into their prime. You can't
Right.
do that. You can say they have similarities in their game. You can say
Yeah.
that, but you can't. But to say he's this modern day Kobe is
No, 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 no. We're
you're
not doing
opening
that.
the door to
We ain't doing that.
unnecessary ammo thrown at his way because they already was calling him a free throw merchant and Sneed already debunked that theory on his show. He did a video about it debunking that and Scap Attack did the same thing. He did a whole video debunking that free throw merchant
Bro,
thing.
do you know how many free throws LeBron shot in the 2009 Eastern Conference Finals? He was averaging 15 a game.
That's a lot.
SGA's was like 9 or 10.
That's a lot.
Bro,
15?
there was one game, I swear, bro. I'll go back and check the stats, but I wrote it down in my notes somewhere. LeBron took over 23 free throws against the Magic in like game 5 or game 4.
Oh, the conference finals in 2009, is it?
Yes, in 2009. Remember when the Magic lost to the Lakers? So
Yeah. Oh, that's a lot.
the series before it was Mo Williams, Delonte West, those guys, LeBron, Big Z was old and injured. You know, LeBron hit that game-winning shot in game 2, right? That deep three over like
Yeah.
Petrius and Turkoglu and all that. Bro, there was one game where LeBron shot like 25 free throws or something crazy.
You can tell the league was trying to get him to the finals to play Kobe.
But that's okay. We can call it though, right? We could say it.
Did we?
And that doesn't make you a hater. We could say it, right?
No.
Do you remember with the in the Darvin era of the Lakers, the free
Oh,
throw
Lord.
percentage for the whole Lakers team was plus 1,000?
But yeah, it was high.
You remember
It
that
was high.
for two
Yeah, it was
straight
high.
seasons? But they want to call SGA, but they didn't. But they don't want to talk about that.
I think
And they were
even
still,
coaches were complaining
and
about
you
it.
were still losing.
I really
You got
don't
that
even
free throw.
see what SGA did wrong last year. Everything worked.
Nothing. He was playing basketball the way
His
you're supposed to be playing.
his offensive game was working on all levels. His defensive game was phenomenal. Somebody told me SGA was a crappy defender. I'm watching the finals. I'm like, this dude's picking everybody's pocket. He's playing passing lanes. He's at the point of attack defending, fighting through screens. The championship's on the line. What do you mean? Why do people say these things?
Going back to what you said, that was those Jokic fans because he didn't win MVP.
It's tough, bro. That Joker situation last year. You guys know that Joker was worthy of an MVP last year, right?
That's why I said they should have, like you said, they should have gave him an Offensive Player of the Year award or something.
I don't know if they're gonna do that ever, but I mean, somebody has to win the MVP award. They gave it to the right guy.
They gave it to the right guy,
They
but
gave
Joker
it to the
still won something because
Joker's doing this crazy, like it's just absurd, like stuff we haven't seen in a long time. Like players have done this in the past, but this guy seems to be doing it every year. Joker is him, bro. I mean, I got one of my students. He was we were talking about Joker last year in the school year, and it was middle of the season, like February. He's like, "Come on, you got to put him in your top 10 all time." I'm like, "Bro, do you know who's in my top 10?"
you don't have to.
No.
You don't have to.
What has he done to deserve top 10?
Well, here's
People
what
were
You
saying
don't have to
Giannis
anybody
should be
to
top 10, right?
warranted in
well,
your.
Micah, here's what you got to do. You got to do this thing for a long time, because I got guys that have, you know, championship rings that were heavy contributors to those runs. I got guys winning multiple MVPs. They all have the same credentials, but they did it for like 15 years. We got all NBA defense guys. We got guys winning scoring titles. We got guys, leading the league in steals. We got there's accomplishments over a decade of work. Give me that from Joker. Let me just see that play out. I just need to see him do it for 10,
Right.
11, 12 years.
There
That's
you go.
the conversation is not that he isn't great, but like Hakeem has a body of work that I'm not ready to put Joker in front of.
Oh, of course.
One final
But
and
that
one championship won. He wasn't picked to win not one series. And that was the first one when they were the
oh
six
for
seeds.
Hakeem.
Yeah,
You
for
see my
King.
position, gentlemen? I'm trying to debunk. I'm trying to destroy narrative. I just want people to see what they're saying could be wrong. They could be right and I could be wrong. But I don't need you just coming off saying things that ain't true. Telling me that Joker's top 10 already.
You know,
Okay, don't you think
I-
it's a little premature? Let me tell you a little bit about this guy Hakeem, who they know nothing about.
that's so disrespectful to be
Bro,
honest.
Hakeem Olajuwon one season. Maybe it was 95, maybe it was not, I don't remember the year. It was one of the two championship seasons. He won league MVP, defensive player of the year. He won the NBA finals and the finals MVP. And it's like I think he's the only guy to ever do it. So one time it happened and he did it. That's a unique accomplishment. It doesn't make him
Right.
the GOAT. It makes it a unique accomplishment that nobody has replicated. That's special. And you want me to just, what is he, second or third in blocks, maybe fourth? So Dikembe Mutombo, who only played defense, meanwhile, Hakeem was averaging 30 in the NBA Finals, 35, while averaging 4 blocks a game. 4 a game against David Robinson, against Patrick Ewing, against Shaquille O'Neal. They told me that Shaq is the most dominant player to ever play in the game, and Hakeem swept him in 4.
That was 94, 93, 94, Sneed.
Yeah, 94.
When he won Defensive Player of the Year, MVP, Finals MVP.
And who else ever accomplished that, Coach T?
Do I have to really say his name?
Who was it?
Michael Jordan.
So it's 2 guys.
2 guys.
2 guys did it.
But you listen to Jordan fans, he's the only one that done it. He did it 4 times. He did it. No.
He won DPOY once, right?
One DPOY once, but
Mhm.
he didn't win. He didn't win the. He won MVP. He didn't win Finals MVP that year. Hakeem's the only one that won DPOY MVP and Finals MVP. He's the
Yeah.
only one.
Yeah.
Nobody else has done that. He won Defensive Player Year and MVP. They're the only two that have done that. And Jordan won MVP Finals.
But if
MVP.
somebody told me, and I had somebody tell me this before,
I
Coach.
think he was leading the league in blocks that year, and
Well, it was like him and like Mark Eaton and Dikembe. Those were the guys that were getting all the blocks. They just played defense. That's all they did. They had no offensive responsibilities, right? So if you only had to play defense, that was your job. Yeah, you should have 5 blocks a game. Yeah. Especially when most of the shots are coming out of the paint. Now all the shots are on the 3-point line, right? So how are you going to get 5 blocks a game? How? Right?
yeah, and that was the year he battled. That was the second. That was the year he battled with. That was the second championship. That was the year he battled with. No, that was the first championship. That's the year he battled with Patrick Ewing in the finals.
Yeah. Somebody told me that Hakeem was a black hole on offense. They'd pass the ball into him into the paint and they'd never get the ball back. That was true for a while until the end when he started winning. You know what I'm saying? See how things could be true, but then over time things change. LeBron didn't have a reliable jumper. Nobody wants to talk about that, really? Nobody wants to talk about
That's
the
true.
evolution of his shot. Like we're not going to talk about that. Like his second stint in Cleveland, he actually had a bag?
But how can
Oh, he
you
did.
but how but you see what we've come to. You're you're expecting guys to come in the league right off the bat, no figure how already having it figured out. You're not allowing players to develop.
Well, if a player doesn't go to college, I mean, that means he's got to develop on the roll. He's got to figure things out in the league.
They're expecting them to come because they're critiquing all these guys. The stupid goat debate is what caused all this chaos.
It's facts.
Um,
That's facts.
you're
All this has to do with it.
Yeah, because you're critiquing guys when they're coming up in their 20s, figuring it out. Oh, he didn't. This Jordan, he didn't win. He was taking multiple shots. I'm like, you're right. That is
You're
100% true.
absolutely
He
right.
did not win a championship, but I thought championships didn't matter. You know,
That's what LeBron said. Talking about
but
ring culture.
I don't think he was being truthful there. I don't think he really believes that.
We know it's
I
not.
really
Because he's
don't.
coming back for another ring.
Because every great player, you don't even have to be a great player. You just have to be a great competitor. Wakes up, gets ready, ties their shoes, gets themselves game ready, and competes to win. Like nobody's there to lose. Who
nobody wakes
goes?
up. Nobody wakes up and like, yeah, I'm gonna get my. Well, some modern players feel this way now. No,
What's that?
you don't wait. They wake up like, yeah, I got a nice mansion. I'm doing well for myself. I got a good squad. I don't want an MVP. I think I did well
Right.
for my career. I don't think I can achieve anything else. And you have zero championships. No, you've heard plenty of guys say it plenty of times. I have won MVPs and things. You said I heard Allen Iverson say it in their championship run when they made it to the final. He made it to the finals for the first time and he won MVP. He's like, I accomplished all that, but what will put the icing on the cake? Let me get that championship.
I'm sure Melo has some regret
I think
with the way
Melo.
things played out.
I'm pretty sure he does.
It was his style though.
The
It's
style
like
hurt him at the end. The real
it's
issue
like
was
not.
coach, was the situation in Denver. George Karl was a little bit hard on him.
He shouldn't have
Melo
said what
wasn't very
Yeah.
receptive of
he
it.
shouldn't. No, you shouldn't say that. What he said to your star player though.
Oh,
Even if
I'm sure
even
there's
if you
things
believe
George
that, you
Karl
don't.
probably regrets.
Yeah,
But check this out.
it is.
Had they have figured that out, right, and worked through that and gotten better from it, and then he didn't demand the trade out of there. I mean, they had a good team. And they were competing. They gave the Lakers some problems, bro.
And he was happy there. He wanted to build and win a title with that
But
squad.
then even he hurt himself when he forced his trade to New York. New York had to purge the roster to trade for him. He could have just left in the
Mhm.
offseason. He was a free agent at the end of the year. He forced his way out in February. And they had to purge the roster.
Yeah, but it has no making any excuses. But I don't the mentality wise, people would deal with that differently. But
Well, coach,
when
he
he
wanted
came
to
out
win.
later that what
He
he
wanted to win
said,
his way. He wanted to win his way. You know what I'm saying? He didn't want to win any other way.
yeah, that had to deal with a rift between them two. Um, because George Carl's not listening to him. Melo's not listening to him. It was a riff, but to say what he said to him, to your star player, to his face, that was very disrespectful. Even if you felt that way, you don't tell your player that because that goes to any star. Even if that would have been Kobe Bryant, that would have been Jordan, that would have been LeBron, that would have been Jokic, SGA. You tell a player to his face like straight up like you're not going to win. You're not going to ever win a championship because of who you are. And I'm
That's
just,
cold.
I'm not going to say exactly what he said, but because of who you are and who you are and as a person and how you are, your
Hold on a
attitude.
second. The comment that George Carl said, I remember comments about his defensive efforts. Is there more to this?
It was very it
Was
was
it
very
personal?
it was a personal shot at him.
Oh,
It
okay.
was a
So
personal shot.
it had nothing to do with game.
No, it was frustrations about how he played and defensively, yeah. But the words that came out of his mouth was the personal shot to Carmelo. He basically saying like you're not a he basically told him to his face like you're not a Jordan, you're not a Kobe, and you never will be. You're the reason why we're not going to win a championship.
That's cold. Did he really tell him
Mm, yeah, you we'll have to I don't know
that?
if
I
it's
know he had a riff with him, but that's
they
that's
didn't
that's
they
messed up
didn't
to say to
purge it
somebody.
off of YouTube. We should be able to find it. I know Sneed will. Sneed is very good at research.
I'll see if I could find that. I do remember the defensive critiques. I do remember the effort and the commitment questions.
But I think
I'm looking at this comment here. He was quoted as saying Melo is a user of people. I had never heard that said about him before.
it was like later on down the road, like
Wow.
Like after he left Denver and stuff.
after he left, he's retired. Then all this started coming out.
That's bad, bro.
Like, and
That's bad.
that was what forced the trade to. Because we were all like, "Why would you do that, man?" Just like you said, let's just run out the season, leaving the off season. But that's he had to say it like the timeline of what he said and Melo forcing his way out of Denver kind of makes sense because the way he forced his way out of there, like, and you saw the rift on the sideline between him and George Carl was almost like they couldn't even look at each other before
Yeah,
the trade. If you remember,
that's gonna create like a toxic environment, you know.
yeah, and that's
That's
it.
rough.
That has to be the timeline of when he said what he said to him. And then of course you got what, and then you had what Phil Jackson told Carmelo to his face too. So you got two coaches that pretty much
What
said
did Phil Jackson say? This one I don't remember. Let me see.
similar. But no, he pretty much he didn't. He said like because he refused to learn the triangle. Remember he refused to learn the triangle, and then he made a comment like that's why he's never going to win a championship.
He questioned or criticized Melo for not being a strong leader and for his
Yeah,
tendency to hold the ball too long.
and
I
then
kind of remember that. Yeah.
I think they had brought in what Derek Fisher, and then I think Derek Fisher made a comment, and then that's
Oh, he
why
did mention the triangle offense.
yeah.
Yeah, holding the ball too long, impacting the flow of the offense.
Yeah, because the only way for it to work, you have your star player has to be bought in, and Melo wasn't bought in on that
You know,
train.
something that I try to coach into the younger players, and this is how I always play the game. Just because I pass the ball doesn't mean I don't want it back. Just because I pass you the ball doesn't mean you have to shoot it. We can move the ball around. I might go to the other side. We can rotate. There might be a screen opportunity. You know, I might be throwing you the ball just to run off of a pick or a screen to get open. You pass the ball back. I think some people just look at the game wrong. Like, I need to have the ball in my hands all the time. It's the best chance for us to score.
But see, the difference is with kids, you can teach them because they don't know, they don't understand. With adults,
I was playing coach with a group of high school kids last week, and
Mhm.
one of the kids on my team was a fantastic player. Quick first step, really good range, good from about 25 feet. I mean, could get to the rim, like just had it all, total package. All of us were standing around because he was just working an ISO. I called a timeout, bro. We were down by 4. I'm like, look, we need to talk, bro. You're going to be useless to us at the end of the game because you're going to be too tired. Let's get you off the ball, come off a screen. I guarantee you we're getting buckets and layups. He started playing off the ball. We start scoring, and he's less tired because he doesn't have to dribble the ball and get by a defender who's focused on him, right? He's moving off the ball, getting free, getting some space, some cerebral aspects to the game. What you're seeing on the floor. I actually think that was
But
part of Melo's problem. I think he wasn't bought into the dynamics of the game and what his team could do with him. He's working in isolation all the time.
I was gonna say, is this type of play style being like permitted coming up in the ranks? Going to school, high school, college. Is anybody trying to taper their thought process of I have to be the man, especially in close moments? I ain't passing the ball to nobody. I'm going to get this team over the hump.
Well, moments can happen, but I mean, are we really going to play 99% of our plays this way?
You can't do it.
I mean, eventually defenses respond. They get the right
Yeah.
matchup, they run the right set, and then that stops. And now what? The only thing that works in every game is movement. It's the only thing that is tried and true that always works. It always works. It works at the rec. It works at the high school gym. It works in college. It works in the league. The ball moves faster than players do.
And I think
Now, when do you think
a lot
LeBron
of it,
moved away from? Oh, go ahead, Coach. Go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say that a lot of it is a lot of these coaches at the lower level misunderstood um, Kobe's teachings. That too. They don't know how to teach. They don't know how to teach and coach uh, a player that's young and that's phenomenal. They just give them the ball and tell them to go to work. They don't know how to coach them. I think that's a problem too.
That's what I mean.
And then when they finally find a coach, they're so used to having it their way. A lot of them don't know how to accept it, and I think that may have been the Melo's problem.
It's hard
Like,
for him.
like you've been having it your way for so many years, then you run into a coach that says, "No, we have this system. It's proven to be successful. This is what we're going to do. We're not going to give you the ball and just have you just go to work. No, we're going to work it around. You're going to pass it out, run, do this backdoor cut, come up on the elbow, boom, hit your shot there."
I think what happens with these players, coach, is they and Micah, you kind of alluding to this, talking about like the younger players. Players can't control what the coach says, but they can control the response to the coach. Like, so in the case of
Yes.
Melo and George Karl, Melo could control the response. He couldn't control what George Karl said. And then it ended up spiraling and going bad. So obviously Melo didn't handle it properly.
But I would
Even
say,
though George Karl was wrong, there must have been something else that could have been done differently.
as a coach, you coach too. We get frustrated. You can't say everything that goes into your head.
Of course
Can't.
not. There's timing, there's lessons. Like, sometimes you only have a moment to get a specific thing across real quick. You have that one moment because it's fresh in the player's mind. And I always ask one question. Did you see what happened wrong there? And I always hope that they can acknowledge it, because then I could reaffirm it, right? There's like a teachable moment. You got to, it's really, really brief. You kind of got to stop it right there.
You gotta catch it on the.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you have to be like supportive and nurturing in that moment.
Yeah.
It's not always being mean or nasty, or it's not always being soft about it either. It's a subtle thing, because, players are sensitive.
Yeah, a lot of these guys don't know how to be a tough coach to give criticism, but deliver it in a way that it's not insulting to the player, or the player or pushes a player away. You know,
Yeah,
uh,
they unfortunately, I think in the league, you're seeing a lot of the discrediting of coaches. It's almost like in order to be a good coach, you just have to be viewed as not a bad one. I don't think there's such thing as a good coach anymore. Nobody's giving anybody credit. You look, it's like, oh, if the players win, the players win. If they lose, it could be the coach's fault. You know what I mean? Like,
it's
look,
always
I'm
Well,
not.
a good
Go ahead.
coach now is you yelling and cussing and acting all demonstrative like JJ Redick.
Bro,
nah. He's a
bro,
terrible.
I'm sorry, bro, but that's your team. You got to deal with that, dude.
He's a terrible coach, man.
I mean,
Does he understand the game and know the game? I give him that.
so he should do
Just
I
film
think
because
so.
breakdowns and charge people $5 an episode.
but just because you know the game ins and out doesn't mean you can motivate people. Like to be a good coach, you have to motivate people to
Yo,
be better than
Wait, hold on.
what they.
Coach and Sneed, do y'all think? Remember
Well,
when the Lakers ripped off that run?
I do.
Do you hear when the Lakers ripped off that run?
Uh
I got.
huh.
I know where you're going with this. That's why I said no.
Was that all JJ or his coaching staff?
Bro, that's a good question. You got
That's a
you
good
have
question.
NBA Finals experience on that assistant bench. You know the
Um,
guy who coached the Thunder back in 2012. What was his name? Scotty Brooks.
Scott Brooks
He's on
and
that bench. You have Nate McMillan on that
Nate
bench.
McMillan.
They made playoff runs in Portland, and he's been around the league, and he's always been a respected and I would say people co-sign him as a good coach. I mean, he's got a
Sneed,
dream team assistant crew.
Sneed, we lost AD, right? We traded AD. We traded the other guard slash I forgot his name, Max.
Max
Max
Cleaver.
And you
Kleber.
would think we would be getting destroyed. We didn't even get Luka yet. We should be getting destroyed. No, we're winning.
You're talking about January and February?
Yeah, January, February, maybe like a little bit of
The
March. We're
Lakers were
winning.
playing some of like the best basketball I saw last year in January. It was crazy.
And we played against some of the worst teams in the league.
No, but there were some quality wins in there too. It was both.
Yeah, there were some teams we probably should have lost to for sure. And look, Hayes was at the helm. Hayes was at center. That's all we had.
Yo,
I didn't know how we were winning with Jackson Hayes playing center. But
I think they had like LeBron at the 4 sometimes.
yeah,
And
You
sometimes
know?
LeBron had to play center. And there were some games where LeBron was like commanding the defense. He was
Yeah.
doing extremely well.
Bro, I'm telling you, he was playing all NBA basketball for January, February. It was not even a question. He was brilliant.
then I don't know what happened in March.
Well, what's real happened? You can't sustain it at that age. I don't
Right.
care what type of investment you're putting into your body.
Right.
It's just like you remember the was it a groin or some kind of soft tissue injury, and he missed what, a couple of weeks. That's
Who,
what happened.
LeBron?
Yeah, that's what happens when you're 40. It
Oh,
happened
yeah,
when
when
he
you
was 39. It
yeah,
happened when he was 38. It happened when he was
But I
37.
remember somebody said that he's gonna figure out a way to get back in time to get those to have those minimum games in to be eligible for those in season
And
awards.
that's okay. And that's okay, bro. Like I'm good with it. He's trying to, accomplish as much as he can in the time that he has, but I'm not going to be in denial and say he ain't chasing. Some people don't chase and some people chase. It's a difference in personality, I suppose. I think you guys, your favorite players, they didn't chase. I think your guys' favorite players said, if I can't win the championship legitimately and contribute to that, I'm going to retire. It's just a different perspective.
I'm not gonna say what KD said.
Katie's
What did you say?
Katie's interesting. Katie,
Some people play 20. Some people play 22 years. Some people will go play baseball.
Oh, when he was shading Mike.
What I know, one thing that I disagree with KD is why are you going on Twitter wars with these fans?
Katie wants to be liked.
I would never go on a Twitter war with a fan if I'm
Katie wants to be liked. He wants to get his point across. He's takes things personally. It's kind of interesting to see players in this kind of moment. These things didn't really happen back in the day because the platforms didn't exist. But now you got players in front of these. I mean, everybody has an iPhone. So everybody's in front of a camera. Everybody's in front of a microphone. It's literally one click away at all times. So they're just saying whatever, whenever. And sometimes they're putting the target on their own back. Most of the venom for KD is self-inflicted. Most of, I think, the LeBron statements, LeBron's like the most criticized player I've ever seen in the NBA.
He brought
It
it.
is so clear. But sometimes I think he needs to understand if he doesn't want the smoke, he shouldn't be in front of the smoke like that. You know what I mean?
Well, he shouldn't be the one throwing the wood in the fire pit and dropping a match. I think he want. I think he want. He's not a. He's not a. He's not a. He's not a ignorant man. Like when you're an attention giver, you're gonna get your attention. So he's gonna do whatever it. He's gonna do whatever it takes for him to be the focal point of the conversations in the league, and he's gonna do that after he retires. He'll figure out a way. Um, that's his makeup. Like
That is true, young disciple. MJ did say that. He did say that he was burnt out. He did. That is facts. I remember that interview actually. I try to consume as much of those interviews as possible to get the insights on the players. Because I mean, who could you actually trust in that moment besides the person who said it? You know, if it's he say, she say, you know, it doesn't have the same zing. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, and there's a problem nowadays is everybody has their own opinion of what somebody said or what they meant when they said it. Especially when you have people out there putting, cryptic messages and just letting you guys figure it out, talking amongst yourselves, and not
So
just sit back.
you're saying that's like a setup?
Yeah, and then just
Yeah.
sit back and laugh at y'all. Like, look at this. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they sit down and make a bet. Like, I bet you I can get these people to talk about donuts, argue over donuts tomorrow. Watch, and then just go out there just you don't even have to you don't even have to eat one. Just walk out of Dunkin' Donuts with a bag, and it could be just a bag of frappuccinos and shit. And just walking out like, oh yeah, hey, look at him. He's over there eating donut. I wonder what kind of donut he bought. I think that it's just we're in that age where everybody just wanna assume what it is, and it's like too many people. What they say on ESPN, they take it as gold.
Oh, I've shifted away from that media a long time ago. I mean, I've been consuming the independent media on like YouTube platforms for years. I don't need the regurgitation from the plants. I don't need it. It's not going to help me understand the game better. It's not going to get me to think about the game differently, see things in a different perspective. It's not helping me go that way. I need something else.
It's
It's
like
almost like I need something more creative. I got to get outside that box.
it's like
I mean, it was hard to watch. Like you remember we were talking about, to start the show, the Shannon Sharp thing. Like it was funny for a while, right? You had like Shannon Sharp yelling and screaming for LeBron, and then you had Skip who just straight up hates LeBron. It's been that way forever. And that was fun and it was funny and it brought these humorous moments. But like that whole like interaction, the way that they did that, that was part of what all this became. That became a culture, a toxic culture, you know?
it's toxic everywhere. It's like professional sports is starting to turn into professional wrestling. It's like it is. It's like that's what it's turning to. One big storyline that runs for 2 and 3 4 months at a time, and then when it's over, it's time to build to the next one. It's time to build to the next storyline, and it's like they're trying to start that insane crap in the NFL now. It's That's what professional sport is not about the sport anymore. It's about the storylines.
You can't blame LeBron for Kobe being number 11. I saw what Young Disciple said. I don't know if that's true or not,
I
but that's
wasn't
ridiculous.
I wasn't going to acknowledge that.
Let me answer this one for Cottage. What up, Cottage? Good to see you, bro. SMT, is Giannis better than LeBron? No,
As
Giannis
far
is not
as
better than LeBron.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, look, if it's just like career achievements, is it aspects of the game offensively? I mean, if you give me something more specific, I'll answer it. But I think overall, whether it's career accomplishments and all those kind of things, plus his abilities, I think LeBron is a much more complete player. I think he could do more things. In his peak, I think his peak was special. Giannis's peak is special too. I'm not trying to discredit it, but if you're making me choose one, I think I'm leaning LeBron there. But Giannis is an excellent player. He's going to go down as one of the best players that a lot of people have ever seen. And that doesn't shit on the rest of the league. you know. Yeah, I remember that cold pizza era. Absolutely. Yeah, Skip never liked LeBron. Skip never wanted to give LeBron credit. I still to this day believe that Skip is giving LeBron an underhanded compliment when he says he's the best passer he's ever seen.
Yeah.
I think that is underhanded, sneaky disrespect. Because it's almost like he wants to discredit him as a scorer. You know what I mean?
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Backhanded compliment.
Oh,
You sound like a backhanded compliment. Like, yeah, he's the best passer I've ever seen. To discredit,
Yeah, like
discredit
his
these all-time
primary, to discredit his primary mode of offensive
definitely
target.
not the best passer we've ever seen.
I mean, there's some amazing passers to choose from,
Yeah.
I mean, you argue. It's exhausting, Micah. It's exhausting.
You know who's a really underrated passer? Really
Okay.
underrated. Steph Curry. Steph Curry, when he played
Curry's
traditional
good.
point guard, he was fantastic. He just
Curry's good.
became this off the ball shooting guard in the system that they were utilizing to win championships.
But
That's
Sneed,
what was working, but they took the ball out of his hands, right?
but Sneed, you know what? Fans don't understand. Like these fanatics don't understand. These are NBA players. They they're talented at all
Oh yeah.
areas. They can do all this.
Yeah.
It's just when you're on a team, you play a role. Some are better
Oh
than others.
no, young disciple. I didn't compare him to LeBron. I said, did you know who's an underrated passer? You got to hear me, bro. I know I'm speaking clearly and I'm articulating what I'm saying. This was not a comparison to LeBron. I was just saying that Steph is underrated as a passer. LeBron's not underrated as a passer. LeBron is glorified as a passer. He cannot be underrated. See what I'm saying? Nobody brings up Curry's passing abilities. Everybody brings up LeBron's passing abilities.
Yeah, nobody brings up Curry as a passer.
Mm-hmm. This is what I'm trying to do with my channel, Micah.
Nobody talks about SGA's playmaking either.
It's fantastic. His decision making is almost flawless.
They don't. But
This GA is I'm telling you, dude is fantastic. He is
all
great.
these guys, it's like all these guys, they're NBA players. They're professional athletes. All these guys can do all that stuff. They're just when you're on the team, you have a role to play.
You
And
know
you have
who
to play your
surprised me
role.
last year, coach? The most surprising player, did not see it coming. Norman Powell. What the hell was that, bro? Where did that come from? Anybody see that coming?
You might
I've
see that
always
coming.
liked Norman Powell.
I'm not when NBA players break out. I'm not surprised because you just get put in the right situation, where you can showcase your talent. All these guys can hoop.
You just need the
Yeah.
chance.
You just need the chance to showcase what you can do.
You think
All
Kuminga
these guys
could be
can do.
somebody?
You talking about Jonathan Kuminga?
Mm-hmm.
It can be. It just
That ain't
but at the
happening in
same
Golden State.
but at the same time, there's a reason why they're not giving them a chance in Golden State that's we don't know behind closed doors because you gotta look at you gotta look at the whole big picture. If he
I'll tell
can,
you what.
if he really showing that he can go and they know they can go, only a fool would not give him a chance.
I went ahead and posted the link, young disciple. If you want to prove to me somehow, some way that LeBron is an underrated passer, I would love to hear your story, bro.
I don't know how, in what world is LeBron considered an underrated passer? Who says that?
See, to
Listen,
me, I think he's properly rated.
Yes.
Everybody mentions his elite passing. Like for me, for example, one of the most impressive things is because he's so strong, he can swing the ball over the entire defense, right? Height, reach, vision. That's part of his unique passing capability, right? That particular passing style. I mean, and he also seems to hit his target. He gets the guys in the breadbasket, right? So, like, right where their hands are placed, he delivers it. So it's a quick, easy shot, and it's an efficient move of the ball. So to me, I mean, it's a no-brainer. I think he's properly rated. He's a great passer.
well, they
And
showed
that's
that
not
pass that he did against the Lakers in 2000. I think it was 2018 season when he did against the Lakers. That no looker.
Oh, yeah.
Show that
That
all the
was
time.
Oh,
that was like
yeah.
a Tristan
Was that
Thompson, like, screen or whatever. Yeah, I remember that.
When he faked out the whole defense.
But you know who else was a great passer? One of LeBron's teammates, Kevin Love.
Kevin? I knew you were gonna say that. He
Kevin
is.
Love,
He
great
is.
passer.
He's gonna be on the list of Hall of Famers he played with too, because he's gonna make the Hall of Fame.
Who else was a great passer? Doesn't get no love. Is underrated. Mm,
Mainly all those European guys.
yeah, they move the ball really well. Kind of
Vucevic,
a
Vucevic in Chicago doesn't
yeah.
get
He's a nice
credit at
passer.
all.
Yeah. Well, because
He's
the way they kind of run the offense, you're not going to get to see a lot of the things that some of these guys can do.
But he'll be deadly in that triangle offense like that on that high post.
He would because he can also shoot the ball.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing about the triangle offense. You need to be dangerous at multiple spots, right? You need personnel to do the triangle offense. You know,
Yeah, because it's all about ball movement and player movement.
you need smart players. You
And
need players that can do a few things, right? It needs dynamics.
that's why I agree that that's the only reason why I agree with some players that say that the triangle offense won't work today is only because of mentality of the players.
I mean, anything could work. It just needs the personnel.
yeah.
Anything can work. In the NFL, they're still running cover two. That's a foundational defense.
That's the most. Yeah.
I mean, it still works.
They made it famous in Tampa. At Tampa too, nobody
They're
could
still,
figure out.
yeah, they're still bump and run. They're still running shotgun. They're still running I formation in the red zone. Like this stuff still works.
They're still running that play action, which is similar to a pick and roll in the NBA. They still run that play action, and it's still effective.
You know,
Who's your
pick and roll
football
still
team?
works. My football team,
Both of y'all, you and coach.
man. I got my home team are the sorry ass Cleveland Browns, bro, and I don't want to talk about it. All right. And I don't want to talk about it, bro, because I already did talk about it earlier in the show while you were chilling with the fam. I went off.
Yeah, I heard that part. Yeah, I heard that part. You were going off. You and I think it's you and coach going off about the.
Nah, it wasn't me. It was him and,
it's somebody else.
Yo, you got to respond to this one, coach. Come on, bro.
What?
Love will not make the Hall of Fame.
That's his opinion. It only matters to him.
Crazy.
That's his opinion, and it only matters to him.
Bro,
call in and tell us why Love will not make the Hall of Fame.
Do you know what Love was doing for the bulk majority of his career?
When he's a multi-all-star, I don't want to hear that. That's his opinion.
Bro, you know how many
killing it on the Timberwolves.
You know how many games he scored 30 in a game and got like 25 or more rebounds?
There you go.
That's his opinion.
When he was asked to do a lot, he delivered. He only got downgraded when he was asked to do less. Yeah, he's got a championship.
I don't see why not.
I mean, before he got paired with he who should not be named, he was doing this similar thing that Chris Bosh was doing in Toronto. And Bosh is in the Hall.
Exactly. So
why in the hell won't Love make it? I think it's just because you have this bias on Kevin Love because he's a spot up shooter now. That's what I think it is. It's the bias.
That's that making him a shot of shooter was the biggest downgrade of his career. The
They're
same thing
they're
happened.
looking
The
at the
same
Kevin
thing.
Love now. They're looking at the Kevin Love now.
Kevin Love might as well retire.
But you
He
got
can't even run up and down the floor.
his whole body of work. I'm not even looking at the chat. I'm over here on the stream yard. That's why
Oh,
I'm
oh,
not even looking at the
yeah.
chat.
Here, let's take a look at Kevin Love, man. That's a good one. I never heard that, bro. Everybody I know
He's gonna be in the
that
Hall.
discusses Kevin Love, I mean, this guy was getting it done. Okay,
It's only LeBron faithfuls that put rose petals at his feet that'll say Kevin Love is not going to make the Hall.
all right.
How would
So
you discredit your own teammate? How would you discredit your own player that helped you win a ring?
No,
this
LeBron didn't say it. That was his opinion. He
this
said
guy
that,
this guy shot over 40% from 3-point 3 times, over 39% from 3-point 5 times. He averaged 10 or more rebounds a game for more than half his career. The other seasons are basically 10. It's 9.7, 9.9. So he's a walking double-double. He's got half his career averaging more than 17 a game. He's got a handful of years over 20.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what am I supposed to do with that guy? How do I keep him out of the Hall of Fame?
I just want to hear the reason. Like, why is he not going to make the Hall?
They're gonna put Dwight in the Hall of Fame, right?
He's
Dwight
already
has
there.
to go in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
He had to go. He was inducted recently, wasn't he?
He's already there. Yeah.
Yeah. He was too
It was
dominant
last year.
defensively, and he was a productive offensive player.
They're gonna
Like,
put
here's
Bosh
what
in the Hall of Fame, right?
who?
Bosh. They're gonna put him in the Hall of Fame, right?
Bosh is 100% going to go in the Hall of Fame. These are guys that were getting MVP votes. We're going to keep them out of the Hall of Fame? No way.
They're gonna
If you
put
were getting
Draymond in the Hall of Fame.
I mean, that's
Yeah, Bosch went in 2021.
Oh, you did already. Okay.
Yeah, he's there.
Dwight
if he's
Howard.
in, so he's in. How is Love not going to be in there? Man, stop it. Everybody declined when they get. So you saying that because people decline as they get older, they don't deserve to be in the Hall? That means, well, take Dwight out of there, take Bosch
Right.
out of there,
Right.
take Gary Payton out of there.
Right.
Well, no,
take,
these are players who produced, and we can't discount that. When they were asked to be the number one option on a team, they produced it. When they're asked to be number 2, they produced it. When they asked to be number 3, they produced it. Why are we discounting roles?
KG put up empty stats on a terrible team too. They didn't go nowhere. They made it to
What
the
do you mean?
Western
Bro, no, hold on a second, bro.
Hall.
Hold up, bro. The big ticket was him, bro.
So
The
was
big ticket
Kevin Love.
was league MVP.
He's talking about you put this comment up on the screen that he was putting up empty stats on a terrible team. A lot of players put empty stats on a terrible team. They made it to the Hall.
I don't understand. He goes to Cleveland. They
Your
win a
guy
chip.
did the Zex put up empty stats on a terrible team for 3-4 years, and he's gonna be a force. Oh, like, come on.
He contributed to a championship. Why are we discounting that?
It's his opinion. Like
But
when
it
they throw
violates
his opinions,
logic.
I want to say, I guess that's his response. That's his response to why he's not going to get into the Hall of Fame.
Man, I can't believe that. I'd never heard that. I never heard anybody say
we have a
Kevin
guy
Love
in
won't be
there
going to the
that
Hall of Fame. I've never heard that before.
we've had a guy on here in the Hall of Fame that we have guys in there that never won an MVP. Wasn't a multi-year All-Star. Wasn't a prolific scorer, but could rebound his butt off in the Hall of Fame.
Yo, young disciple, I don't know why it's happening, but your messages are getting like doubled and tripled. I don't know what it is, but dude, Bosch had MVP votes some years. Kevin Love did too some years. I'm not saying first place votes, but he was getting MVP votes.
Yeah, it was. I said they had a similar. They had, they had similar, careers before they partnered with LeBron James,
Yeah, in a way, it's similar.
and their careers kind of ending similar. Well, his was Bosch was health reasons. Love is just father time.
LeBron fans are discrediting their own teammates.
I don't think he's discrediting him. He's just not agreeing with me saying that Kevin Love would be in the Hall of Fame when we have guys that's in the Hall.
Oh, yeah.
We have guys that's in the Hall right now that we have guys in the Hall of Fame that hasn't won MVPs, that weren't all multi-year All-Stars, that similar to Kevin Love. And then I named one who's only in there because he was one heck of a rebounder. And Dennis Rodman. He didn't lead a team to nothing.
Yeah, but you know why Dennis Rodman's in the Hall of Fame.
I'm just giving an example of
Right.
We got guys just because somebody didn't win MVPs and everything. That doesn't they put guys in there that hasn't won MVPs.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean the NBA put that bar down when they started letting guys in the Hall for that. Some guys that we agree probably shouldn't be there that are there. Like the Hall should have been. The Hall is sacred. The best of the best should only be in there.
Well, it's easy to get into the Basketball Hall of Fame compared to like the NFL Hall of Fame.
The NFL, yeah.
The NFL, you got guys waiting 20, 30 years, and they were all pro for a decade.
Yeah, we got guys on there. We still fighting to say they need to get it out. And there's guys been, but these guys are getting in so easy in the NBA. First ballot.
I'll tell you, if Draymond gets in there, I want Derek Fisher in there.
No,
Fish ain't gonna get in there, man. Because if they throw Fish in there, they're gonna have to throw Ori in there now.
Oh man,
they ain't gonna do that.
Look, I ain't gonna hold you on that one, Micah. But I'm just saying you'd be wrong for
he
that.
might be in the Lakers Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah, he's a Laker legend, bro. He was
might
there
be
for
in the
those
Lakers
runs.
Hall of Fame, but not.
Was he there for all five with the Kobe years?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Kobe have now. That's an argument you can make. You can say Kobe had never won a championship without Derek Fisher.
It's true, bro.
The way they throw that out there, the way they throw out there that the Pippen Jordan thing, you can throw that argument out there that Kobe ain't never won one without Fish, and it's an absolute truth.
That was his Pippen.
His worst seasons is when Fisher wasn't there, and that's a fact.
Fisher, a consummate professional when it came to the game.
Him and Kobe just played well.
Not when it came to the ladies.
Ooh.
Oh, we're not even going there.
Ooh. Was he the one that was running out the window, bro? Jumping out the window, trying to get away? Was that him? Is that the right one?
That's the way Matt Barnes.
That's
the way Matt Barnes puts it.
You don't believe it?
Yeah, I don't see any scars on Derek Fisher's face that healed from an ass whooping. So,
well, he didn't say he caught him, did he? He just said he jumped out the window, right?
Or jump out with a towel on or something.
Yo,
it's Matt Barnes.
Yo, we should ask Young Disciple what he thinks about Delonte West.
Matt Barnes, according to Kwame Brown, Matt Barnes is not a tough guy. So,
I remember him making Matt problems, bro. I saw him making a whole bunch of problems in the league. So I don't know, man.
Well, according to Kwame Brown, he's one of those all talk when he's in the crowd, but when he's by himself, he's the nicest guy you meet. People said that out of his mouth.
People say that about KG. They say he's not really built like that.
I've heard that before too.
I wouldn't say KG's weak. I don't think he's like this super tough guy. I don't think he's weak though.
He's that funny guy. He's like that guy in high school that talked the most. That funny
Yeah.
guy that'll bulk up to you like, "Come on, dude, we can go, bro. What's up?" And then when it's time to go, be like, "Dog, for real, you want to do this right here at school? Are you sure you really want to do this
Come
here?
on, man.
Come
Yeah, I
on,
got a
bro.
test next.
Come on, bro.
You-
We got a game next week, bro. Come
what
on."
up, Razor?
Math test coming up, man.
Hey, I don't know what you guys are doing this weekend, but I might do a stream on Sunday. Are you guys cool with that? It'll be like a
On
Sunday evening.
Sunday,
It'll be like a later in the evening kind of deal.
like what time for you? Because I know we're like a 3 hour difference here in LA.
Oh, you guys are out west? Okay. So we're like 3 hours, so it'd probably be like
I'm on the
I
east.
probably do it around I probably do it around 9, so that'd be like 6 p.m. your time.
I might tune in. I probably won't be able to hop on because it's SummerSlam weekend.
Oh, damn. All right, man. Well, I'll definitely try to get you guys in on the show if you guys get the time, but I really do enjoy doing these live streams and interacting with you guys. I do appreciate, the conversations and getting perspectives. The show's just not the same without it. I just don't like speaking in front of a camera. That's not really my thing. I don't like it actually.
Get you a co-host.
Maybe, but what I really want to do is get this
Mhm.
down to a schedule. I really just want to be able to do that same time each week kind of deal.
That's what I'm trying to do. Because I go Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Sundays I go 6 Eastern.
Mm,
Saturdays I go about 6:30 Eastern, and Fridays 7.
all right.
Unless
Well,
my guest is on the West Coast. So I'll be if you're going 9, I'll be wrapped up because my shows don't go over 2 hours.
all right. Well,
Yeah.
we went over 3 here. I ain't trying to do this, man. I'm trying to get some rest. I'm
Yeah.
about to kill this stream, man. You guys
It's
out
only-
west, man. It's different for you guys. It's about to be midnight. I got
No,
work.
I'm
in the
on the
morning.
East Coast with you, man. It's
Oh,
11:30.
okay. Coach, you don't get tired, bro. You're like a machine or something. Straight up. Straight up. You're like a Terminator, bro.
Put that out there out there in that atmosphere. There's some days, man. I work so much, man. There's some days I come home. I just like last night. I came home 9 o'clock, showered, and then I don't remember falling asleep. I woke up at 4 in the morning, still with my own, still with my own. What you call it?
With the towel
I was like, what? I don't remember falling asleep.
All right, guys. We'll go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and end the show. Appreciate you, Coach Micah, for coming through. Everybody that called in, Goon.
But before you go, not this Saturday, but the Saturday after, it's my college football show. Bruce is gonna be there. I'm trying to get Transformer there.
Oh,
I
cool.
have to do it earlier that Saturday. That's on August 9th.
Remind me, and that way I could share it with the community. I'll put a link for the thing on the community tab. We'll try to spread the word.
For sure.
All right.
We're gonna have a little small panel.
All right, cool. Excellent. All right, gentlemen. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. It's been great. It's been excellent. Yeah, it was a great show. Thank you guys. We'll see you guys soon on the next one.
For sure.
Peace.
All right, Coach.